Hey y'all, hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, honor students. Come on in, come on in. Happy, was it Thanksgiving Eve? Happy Thanksgiving Eve. Come on in, come on in. We're getting it in, child. We're getting it in. We're doing one, what we're gonna call this a holiday special. I've been deep diving all the way up until right before I hit this go live button. I've been deep diving. So I got some things I want to talk about. Come on in. Hit the like button as you come on in, like, share, and subscribe. What's up, Ariane? Says, hey, everyone, happy Thanksgiving. But for now, let's go. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about, Ariane. Let's go. Listen, y'all had me working, coming off of that live yesterday. I got to researching. Y'all know I had questions, looking for answers. Yesterday was a really good live. And we had some newcomers over here. And they put some things on our mind, in particular on my mind, and it had me to kind of be exploring what I want to say, like a flashback in time with the whole nature boy and that whole madness, that craze. I even came across the very first video I had of like how I got introduced to who he was. And, here's the thing, before he went left and went off the deep end, he was one of those guys to where like he could really have your ear, as far as the stuff he'd say that be like, you know what, you right, brother, you right. Y'all know how sometimes you might come across somebody who kind of real deep and they say some stuff and you like, you know what? That do make sense. That do make sense, And so Nature Boy was kind of one of those people. And I just think that he just got so deep in the weeds and it probably all stemmed from ego. Because a lot of the things, like certain things that he talked about, like for some of you all who are, if you find yourself to be, what's the word? Somebody who's spiritual. I consider myself to be a spiritual person. More so than religious. I'm spiritual. I believe in God, but I'm very spiritual. So I'm led by kind of spirit versus like religion. And Nature Boy was kind of one of those people to where he moved more so from a spiritual kind of place. Y'all know, like with the third eye, like I said, if you know, if you're familiar with Nature Boy, kind of like how he spoke. But I'm talking about like, going back to like the beginning before he just became known with having this harem of, women or these people around him just doing what he want to do. I'm just talking about like just going backwards when you just first like maybe saw him before all of that, depending on when you learned about him. But I came across the video and he was, I don't know where he was at, but somewhere out looked like in the middle of nowhere. And it was just him just talking and just saying things that to me, it just kind of had you go deep in thought and just started just like questioning things. And a lot of people, some of the people who did come to follow him say that's kind of how they came across him. Just from the internet, a lot of the young people, college students, he was just one of the people to where he get to talking and he just say some things that are kind of just having you just question things. Because remember over here, I talk a lot about ask questions, some just seem kind of ask questions, go deep, seek answers, stuff like that. So he kind of was kind of on that way, but until it went left. And I really believe probably what happened with him, it came from ego. I think it came from ego because some of the things he talked about, like we'll hear other people talk about the third eye, like it wasn't nothing that was just crazy far-fetched. It was just kind of once he got that following, and I think that probably happens a lot when you have cults to where it's the ego and people get the following and they see they got the people's ear and they got their attention. So it's like, oh, snap, people listening, let me see what else okay, well, what else can I say to them or get them to do? How far can I get them to go? Y'all know how people kind of keep testing the waters. They keep pushing it. And I think that's what happened with him. So let me get through these comments before we get into just deep dive into the content, because I just took a deep dive into just that whole world. And, as it pertains to like Rose Miller of Queen of Kings, I started kind of deep diving, just seeing, okay, so when it comes to her, yesterday on my live, there was a couple of people who inserted her name and said that she from what they had come to learn, had been affiliated with him. I will say during my research, I did not come across anything that where I seen both of them, like where she was in any content with them. But there's so much content on the internet pertaining to Nature Boy to where like it's almost damn near impossible to go through everything. But what I did come across when I just would Google, just researched her name, I came across some pictures, and they're not even pictures I'm comfortable with sharing on the internet. I can tell you how you all can go out there and see them. But it had me, just the pictures and then the name associated with the Instagram page, which doesn't seem to be in existence anymore. It had me to believe or to wonder if the pictures were taken at a time where allegedly she was connected to Nature Boy, Carbonation, things like that. So I want to put that out there. I'm gonna revisit that, but let me try to get through some of these comments just to acknowledge your presence. Welcome everyone. Hey Rainy, what's up? What's up? Hey Karen. Hello Janelle. Hello Divine. Hey. What's up DJ? What's up Anna? How you doing, Anna? Karen said, I don't know about him, but I've heard his name, so I'll be getting a lesson. Yes, there'll be a lot to learn, so no problem. You're going to know about him today. When you leave here today, you're going to know all about Nature Boy. Raina says, hey, Sheik, what's up? Honor students, what's up? So, yes, Nature Boy. There's a few things that I saved that I wanted to show you all, just to introduce you to just his content. Let me see, where do I want to start? Where do I want to start? Let's see. Okay, so let me share my video. Let me share my screen, and I want to show you a video, and it's kind of going to give a summary of kind of who he is, the legal trouble he went through, and the result of that as far as with the outcome of that case. So as you all come on in, please like the video, like, share, subscribe. But let's get it. There's a lot, like I said, in my research that I came across. So just want to make sure that I present it in a way that it's going to make sense. You all drop a comment. Let me know if you have anything to add. I will get to the comments, but like, share, and subscribe. So let's get into this video. This was a video that the Shade Room have on their channel, Nature Boy, and it reads, the alleged Atlanta cult leader exposed. So remember, he was living here in Atlanta, where I live, same state, just maybe was about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour away from where I live when he was arrested. So let's just get into this story, and I will be checking in on comments. Fair use.
With Eligio Bishop, they call him Nature Boy.
I had to willingly engage in these sexual activities to keep myself safe.
Victims of his alleged sex cult are speaking out.
I was still strangled on multiple occasions.
They say once accepted, Bishop forced women to have sex with him. You had to change your name and give up all your money. But some members say it's all a lie.
We know he's innocent. We were there.
But a jury saw it differently. What it was really like being a member of Carbonation, and why they were told to believe that women are property of men.
The black man is God!
The black man is God!
The black man is God!
I'm leading by example. That's all I'm doing.
I'm Justin Carter. This is TSR Investigates. Nature, nudity, and kindness. Those are some of the key beliefs of Carbonation, a so-called cult that has captivated people online now for years, especially on YouTube, where members have gained popularity for their approach to holistic healing, traveling all over the world and recruiting disciples in the process. Members say their leader, their God, is Nature Boy. His real name is Eligio Bishop. He's a polygamist. He has several wives, and he often leads with spirituality. But one member says it's that same spirituality that's deep-rooted in a culture of violence, abuse, rape, and revenge porn. And it was all exposed when police and detectives, they raided a home in Decatur, Georgia, back in 2022.
Controls them and do what he says.
That's what neighbors told WSB TV in Atlanta, April 2022, when dozens of police officers, detectives, and a tactical team raided this home in Decatur, a suburb of Atlanta.
Lately, it's been turning into abuse from what the neighbors been complaining about.
Neighbors were right on the money. A 3-week-long investigation revealing something criminal was happening, and Eligio Bishop was allegedly at the center of it. The Shade Room got a copy of one criminal affidavit, one of many filed in DeKalb County. One woman, a former member of Carbon Nation, said she found explicit videos of herself on Twitter under the username The God. It goes on to say that Bishop posted videos of them having sex, and she attempted to leave the location after Mr. Bishop ordered other women in the house to strike her. She then told Bishop she wanted to leave multiple times and he would not allow her to. He began stating that she was his property and began pursuing her for sex. She told him no multiple times, but he kept pursuing and penetrated her vagina with his penis without her consent. She was unable to leave until the next morning when everyone was asleep. 2 days later, the explicit videos were then posted on Twitter. Eligio was arrested and charged with rape, false imprisonment, and 3 counts of prohibition on nude or sexually explicit electronic transmissions. His trial would start nearly 2 years later, February 2024, and it was explosive.
Women couldn't wear shirts at one point in time, so we started putting leaves on our nipples. Every woman had to have sex with Nature Boy or have some type of sexual fantasy with him. And a lot of times, when that would happen, it would be forced.
We're choosing not to reveal the victim's identity to protect their safety, but many of them went on to say that when you join Carbon Nation, you have to get rid of all your belongings, change your name, and put all of your money into a pot so everyone can feed themselves and travel. On these trips, they live a natural lifestyle, embracing the outdoors, but often at the expense of the country. Here's Nature Boy on a trip to Costa Rica in 2017 before he and 15 others were kicked out for allegedly endangering and threatening national security. In one instance, they were caught defecating on the bases of trees there. They were also forced to leave the Honduras, Panama, and Nicaragua for similar reasons.
Only the truth can recognize the truth. You see? So, when you...
Y'all see this woman's face is blurred out. So yesterday, if you were here on my live, I said there was a white woman that used to be with him, and her family literally, y'all, rolled up on them and went and rescued her and got her away from him. So I believe this was that particular woman, because it was only ever like one kind of white woman that I would see. I believe this is her, but there was a white woman nonetheless that was a part of the cult, and her family came and rescued her. So I want to kind of point that out as I'm showing this video and you all seeing, you know, what it was all about, how he moved. Take into an account currently Rose Miller, how she moves, how she looks. Go back to, you know, someone yesterday pointed out with her shaving her head. You all came across the video of when she first shaved her head, and I guess she didn't take that video down because I came across it. We are going to watch it, and it was in June. She shaved her head. The other ladies, when this man on the screen, Eligio or Nature Boy, whichever one name you want to call him, when he was sentenced, found guilty, like 8 months ago, the women who the people who were part of his cult, they all shaved their heads to be in solitude, because some of you may know, some of you may not know, when you are prosecuted and you are sent off, and if you do have hair, they will shave your head. So while he was in court, he had like locks at the top of his hair, his head. When he was found guilty, they shaved his head. So going into the prison, you know, they shaved his head. So his cult members shaved their heads too. So that was like 8 months ago. Rose Miller, her head was shaved 5 months ago. The video I came across was June. So I was like 5 months ago. So she shaved hers about 3 months after those other people had shaved their heads. But I just want you all to keep in mind as you're listening to this, the correlations, the similarities, how you see that she moves, how she behaves. Remember, they talked about these people got kicked out of places, countries, and things like that for just unsanitary things, reasons, not bathing, using the bathroom outside, like craziness, like just living, just barbaric behaviors. But I just want to insert that as we continue to watch this video. Just think about her and how she moves. Once I conclude this video, we will get into it more. And I have some more videos that I want to share to kind of correlate with some of the thoughts that I have as I've been researching all of this. So let's go. Please like, share, and subscribe as you come on in. Like the video. Double tap the screen. If you're looking on your phone, like the video.
When you understand that, that's how you're not going to be able to be affected by demons. I urge everyone to do what I've done. This is how we will destroy the planet. Destroy the cancer on the planet. We will destroy the cancer. You can't fight fire with fire. A lot of people that think they don't understand what we're up against. We're fighting cancer here.
In recent years, their journey continued in Atlanta. Here's what Bishop told a detective the day he was arrested. It played out.
Keep in mind too, what I learned also is that this man wanted to become the Black Messiah. So his goal was to have his name just all over the internet. So, which he's accomplished that. Like he's a known name. He has it's a lot of content out here on him on the internet. But like his goal was like for everybody to know his name. So just keep that in mind as well.
Out in court during his trial.
I have a video showing how we did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, when she's incomplete, she's like literally going through the spiritual journey. It's a spiritual video, like showing that the vagina, like it was really like an educational thing, right? And so I had the whole footage, like literally, like, and when she left, she was mad, and then she just flipped on me and said revenge porn.
He went further, calling himself a ladies' man.
I'm not a rape a girl. I'm a ladies' man. I got like 5, 6 women. I'm a rape a girl for. They come to me.
Why would anybody accuse you of that?
Because they mad at me.
And his Instagram account was active during the entire trial process, maintaining that the women involved were never forced into sex, but upset because of his polygamous lifestyle, even sharing video of some of the victims appearing normal in the house that they shared. One even had a child with him. But in the end, the jury wasn't buying it. On March 1st, 2024, Bishop was found guilty on all charges, sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. He wasn't in court for the verdict, but appeared on video conference and went toe-to-toe with the judge.
Are you happy?
I'm not answering any questions of yours, Mr.
I forgive you. And I still love you. I forgive you, and I still love you. I got nothing in my heart. I'm not mad at you. I'm not upset with you. I forgive you.
And despite all of it, Bishop's social media remains active, with his members and his wives posting videos about the case, expressing their concern. Take a listen.
With life without the possibility of parole?
Yeah, that was very, that was personal. That was definitely personal. That wasn't, somebody really seeking justice. That was some personal feelings. I feel like this whole time has been personal feelings from the alleged victim, from the detectives, from the judge, from the prosecutor.
The Shade Room did reach out, wanting to get their side of the story, but whoever manages Bishop's Instagram account, they declined an on-camera interview after we told them that we wanted to get both sides of the story. But they did send us a statement saying in part, quote, that the individuals who are spreading lies for content, clout, and a check are being very dangerous in their actions. We have a lot of online haters who attack us on a daily basis. Our husband was just sentenced to life in prison without parole, and we only have interest in discussing the maliciousness of his case and not be associated with the drama that comes along with it. We're going through a lot, and everybody is just looking for content and views because his energy is powerful and want information out of us, but their hearts ain't right. We are the source. We live with these individuals who are going around defamation his character, and we know Eligio very well and this situation very well. So anyone interested in not only getting information from the source, but from the moths that trying to get close to the light, we're not interested. Our life is in danger right now, and they say they plan to file an appeal. For TSR Investigates, I'm Justin.
So that's Nature Boy. He's a lot. While that was playing, I did find his Instagram, because they have a website, and that website is no longer, I guess, functioning. I came across a website that, the wise were, because I saw some interviews that they were doing, and they were saying you could find information out there about him. But that website, it doesn't have anything on it anymore. So maybe once he was found guilty, they just took down their, the website, or just stopped putting information up. But this is his Instagram, Nature Boy Eligio Bishop. It says Eligio Bishop has been unjustly sentenced to life plus 10. Evidence is pinned on page. Help us spread awareness. So, yeah. Remember I told you the very first video that I found of his was this one, like however long it was.
Son out here beaming. Europe. Salute to the God. Salute to the God. Peace, reflection. What's going on, myself? Myself, how you feeling? Good. Good, good, good. KB, what up? Janae, I love myself. What's going on, Lucci? Roof. Come on in here. I want to break this down, y'all. I ain't know so many people didn't know this. I ain't know so many people didn't know that the body. Before I start this download, let me say something to you, reflection. Because, see, me, I haven't had rest. I mean, not rest, but I haven't went to sleep in 2 days. Because I'm fired up. Like, I probably ate like I really ain't ate nothing. I haven't been asleep, feeding off straight prana right now. And I feel like so powerful with information. Like all these downloads have been coming to me crazy. Let me tell you something real quick, reflection. It's very important to know. People tell me all the time, you're cocky, you're arrogant, you're mean, you say things in a way, you speak with authority. Reflection, let me tell you what this is. When you truly become an ascended master, you're going to become arrogant and you're going to come off cocky. Your ego is going to become super big the more you realize who you truly are. Why? You can't be an ascended master and you do not speak authority into your life. I'm a master at manifester. That's what I do. I manifest shit. If you're going to manifest shit in your life, you're going to have to be strong. You're going to have to be strong. I'm built like that. I eat fruit and my body like this. I'm built like that. Ask anybody that's around me. I don't eat meat. I don't eat no protein, none of that shit. I'm strong here. My mind is strong. My astrological energy is built like that. I'm a warrior in every sense of the word. But I'm also a ascended master. I manifest things with my mind, with imagination and will and drive and intent. In order for you to manipulate your environment and get the things that you desire, you're going to have to be a little arrogant. You're going to have to speak with authority. You're going to have to believe in yourself. You're going to have to believe. That's the energy that people, they intimidated by power. Anybody that's powerful, people that are weak are going to be intimidated by you. Don't let these motherfucking small-minded people stop you. Never let that happen. Number one. Never let small-minded people slow you down. Number one. Number two, when you are manifesting things, you're going to have to reach into yourself because it's not easy. There's going to be 100 things that's going to say no. And if you don't have the willpower to stay strong and speak something into existence and say it with authority, it brings me to a time in the Bible when Jesus cursed the fig tree because it didn't have any. He said it with so much force. He said, he cursed it that it will never bear fruit again. They left, they came back, they seen that tree withered away. And Jesus said, you will be able to do the same thing and greater if only you had faith of a mustard seed. Jesus was a cocky motherfucker, man. If you really know who Jesus was, that's why they killed him. Because he was a nobody that spoke in authority. He spoke authority. You have to speak into this realm that we're in. We're inside of our body. Things work with magnetism and power and intensity. It works like that. That's how it works. You say, yeah, I want this. With your thought, yeah, I want this. But if you say you want something with authority and you say it with enthusiasm and you feel it and you believe it with everything that you are and you're excited and you're obsessed with it, can't nobody tell me shit. The shit that I manifested my whole world, the way I think is amazing. You can't tell me nothing. Try to come and give me advice. Oh, you say stuff so mean. My nigga, myself. Let me tell you something. I stop saying myself. I stop saying my nigga. I say myself. Myself. Let me tell you something. You looking at an ascendant master. I could tell you things about reality that will break your mind. But you wouldn't be able to receive it because you're here on karmic purposes. 2 days I've been awake. 2 days. Getting downloads. Information that's bananas. Just for you, man. And I'm just excited, man. You see this energy? It looked like I got 8 hours of rest. But I've been up 2 days. Hardly nothing to eat. I just haven't been hungry. I haven't been tired. I haven't been hungry. I'm vibrating at my all-time highest right now. But let me tell you something about your world and the world that you live in before I get into telling you about how the body is the soul. There's a lot of stuff that we don't know that we must become conscious of, and I'm here to say the things that no one is saying. Fuck it, I don't listen to everybody. I don't listen to all the gurus, the yogis, all of them. They all bullshit. All of them. Now, they got pieces of information, I give it to them. But they don't know what the fuck this reality is. They don't know how life works. They don't know shit about what's going on. So I gotta drop these jewels on you. It put fire in me. Cause I'm like, first of all, number one, I live my information. I'm out shit. I'm really living this shit. So therefore, I applied that knowledge that you got to my life. I already applied it to my life. And one thing what happens when you apply the knowledge to your life is you get an experience. And in that experience, that's where wisdom comes from. Wisdom comes from the experience from doing something. Can't nobody tell me about what the hell I'm talking about, homie, because I live it. That's why I'm a little cocky. And when I talk to you to talk through the ignorance that's already in your head. You got shit that's already in your head that's going against the truth. So just to break through it, Nature Boy speaks with intensity. But don't think that that's not love. Love is understanding, and I speak nothing but facts, and that's to give you understanding. So this is love. Love. Right now, we at war. It's a spiritual war going on, Reflection. This ain't no time for namaste. All that. Listen, that's not what I'm here for, man. That's not how it come out of me. Let that come out of that other motherfucker that's hitting gongs and shit. You know what? I can't be something that I'm not. The way it come out of me is the way it come out of me. I'll be up all day, all night, because this shit be so clear to me, like, and all I want to do is give it away. It be so clear to me, like, I know how life works. I could tell you about everything in life right now, and I'm going to. It's just so much that it's in me, and it's like, I can't sleep. I can't even sleep. That's how much it is. And I got so much love, but it's mistaken as anger. Because like I said, people see a black man talking with some power, and they automatically looking like, there go the angry nigga.
So I wanted to play that to give you an idea for those of you who aren't familiar with, I guess, his teachings, his beliefs. So those are his beliefs. And I came across, that was probably like my first time ever coming to learn who he was when I came across that video like some years ago. And I just feel like when this video circulated, because I think it was this video, even for him, that had his popularity kind of just take off as it kind of got circulated, because I've heard some of the people, the young people who did come to follow him, say that this was the video that they came across. This is the video that they came across, which prompted them to want to seek him out. Let me get through some of these comments. But yeah, so just keep in mind, just, with the internet, it's like you have the ability to reach so many people. So it's very important as far as when it comes to messaging, because you're able to reach so many people just from all walks of life, different ages. And there were young people who came running to him, people who were just like high school age, early college, for early years in college, like young people who were the ones who primarily kind of came flocking to him. I hadn't seen anyone like older really in her circle. Everyone seemed to be probably younger than him, because I think he's maybe like 40. So it's like these are like young, impressionable people. Let me get through some of these comments. But like I said, as you all see how he moves, think about the things he say, line that up with just Rose Miller, with how she moves, the things she say, the things you've seen as far as with just herself, how she carries herself, how she views clothing, for herself, for her children, something as simple as shoes, food, like how much food to consume, the weight, the body, sexuality. I don't know if he had gotten that far in this video, if he talked about just intimacy, sex, like his views on that. Some of you, if you are kind of familiar with him, like when it comes to just his own children and things like that, he's just very open. He's just, it's just a free for all with him. That's just kind of like his mindset. And we've heard Rose talk about, like, for her children, like, listen, I don't keep anything from him. I'm completely, like, she's just a free for all. So I'm gonna get through these comments, and then I'm gonna get back, because there's some more things that I want to present to you all that during my research I came to find, in particular that video where she did shave her head. And this was after the other people had shaved their heads. Rose shaved her head too. So we will show that video. I'll show that video, because I did come across that video last night, and I have it up. So I want to play that video. Anna says, Chic, I am all right. How are you doing? Trying to cover all this madness. Yes, I'm trying. Ariane says, let's hit the like button. It's free. Yes, you all. Come on in. Please hit the like button. There's 57 of you in here. Looks like my likes at 35. If you haven't hit the like, please hit the like for me, please. Cancer66 says, hey, what's up? What's up? Hey, Straight Talk, what's going on? What is going on? How you doing? Ariane says, what I'm hearing, seeing, is he for real? Listen, yeah, I mean, everything that he says, this is what, like, he truly believed. And now this is those who are part of his cult. This is what they believe as well. Bobby says, Nature Boy changes code names so many times to avoid authorities. Yeah, because he's gone through many names. Very true. Janelle said, this is gross. Meet Nature Boy. Bobby Allen says, organic, melanated family, melanated mystic, carbonation, melanation, the ethers, return of the saviors, reflected life chief, melanated family, just a few of his cult names. Wow, that is a lot of names. Ariane says, wow, let's not pretend. Not today. Let's not pretend. Bobby said they got kicked off the plane for smelling bad. I remember that. I remember learning when they got kicked off the plane, when they were banned. I remember when they were banned from Hawaii, banned from other countries. It seemed like it's few countries they were banned from. Pam says, oh my gosh, just coming in. Hey, Chic and Shaq, sounds like you're onto something. Like, it's a lot. I started, deep diving and exploring last night. I became Dora the Explorer. Bobby said, this man has ruined so many young. Yes. And y'all, he's locked up. And these people, remember I talk about on my channel, if you're new to my channel, I say that when someone gets the mind and gets hold of the mind, that's like the chokehold. You can get a hold of somebody's mind, you can control that person from anywhere because it's in the mind. This man had a hold of these people's mind to the point to where he's been locked up now for 8 months, and they're still on Diddy's internet, just like hollering free, free three God, free nature boy, whatever the hell, free Eligio, whatever the hell name they want to call him at the moment. This man is locked up and they are still out here with their lives on hold, standing in the wilderness with a camera, with head wraps on or bald heads, talking about free my man. So again, this is the control that he has over them. And he has not only women brains in a chokehold like that, he has men minds as well. Like I said, this was the broke version of Diddy with how he moved. The difference is that this man has been tried and convicted. Diddy is still pending to await, he's still awaiting trial. But he was found guilty on kidnapping, revenge porn, raping. Like, he had a number of charges. That's why he got life. He ain't coming home. He is not coming home ever. Bobby, I said he wanted only young and impersonable people to brainwash. Yes, he was getting their money when they was coming. They were coming. You know how, young folks might have their little money, their little check, their little student tuition, college tuition money, maybe monies that parents gave them for college. Listen, he like, yo, when you run me that money, when you come here, go ahead and leave me that money. So therefore, we, loosely air quotes, we, can live and travel and do what we need to do. This is where like money was coming in. People who were coming, listen, like, don't be coming empty handed. You got to come with something. What they say, pay like you weigh. You got to pay like you weigh. Ariane said, ladies, love yourself first. Yes. Love yourself first. Rolanda says, Chic, hey, I'm here to show support. This is trigger warning for anybody who does not know about this subject. Very disturbing. Yes, yes, yes. The reason why I really wanted to go there with covering this is because yesterday there was a couple of people in my chat who correlated Rose Miller and her antics and how she moved to Nature Boy, because they said, it was one of them or either both of them, from what they had come to learn, she was once a part of the carbonation, like the original carbonation. From my research, it's like the original carbonation came about in about 2015. From what they were saying, she encountered, became a part of his world after she left the older two children's father. So when she left Atlanta, she moved and just went to California. And that's when she linked up and somehow got kind of entangled with Nature Boy. So based on that timeline, that was around like that 2015-ish. The two oldest boys were like really small, young babies then, probably toddlers, things like that, around that age at that time. I want you all, if you're in here, because I'm not comfortable showing the pictures that I came across with Rose, but this is what I want you all to type in. I'm going to put this in the chat. This is what I want you all to go to Google and put in, and then go to image. I'm going to put this in the chat. Y'all look what I put in the chat. Got it on the screen. Type this in, what I got on the screen. Type that in and go into images. It's going to take you to photos of her. And there was some photos, a couple of photos that I saw that had me to me, it just had me to think about just some of the things that was said in my chat as far as the connection between her and Nature Boy with how she moves. So the pictures that you'll see a picture of her in a bathing, a see-through swimsuit. Look at that swimsuit. She has an afro. Her hair is in an afro. There's 2 pictures you'll see. You'll see and I didn't feel comfortable showing the pictures because one of them, like it's see-through. You can see her nipples, so I didn't want to see that. Show that on YouTube. I didn't want any issues. She has an afro, and then there's another picture from her from the back. Look like she's standing outside. She's in nature. If you click on that, the picture, there's a link that will be for Instagram. It looks like the Instagram is no longer up. When I try to click on it, I cannot go to the Instagram, but it says Rose Miller, and then it says Tribe of Benjamin. Tribe of Benjamin. When I research, okay, what's this deal? What's the Tribe of Benjamin? When I Googled that, it says the Tribe of Benjamin was one of the 12 tribes of Israel, according to Torah, and considered to be one of the origins of Jewish people. Yesterday, people, in my chat, it came about. It talks of the Israelites, Black Jews, all of that. So what I feel, in my opinion, I feel like what happened was that she tried to scrub and get rid of just anything, photos, things like that she had out there that linked her to that life. She, like I said, that I can't access that Instagram. You all let me know in the comments if you're able to access the Instagram, but the link isn't working. But I feel like anything prior to Queen of Kings, she wanted to kind of erase that, and she wanted to kind of have her branding start at Queens of Kings. So that's why we do not see that. That's why we do not see that. So to me, just looking at those pictures, I know it's just a photo, but looking at the photo and how she's, just the energy, how she's looking, it's in a way that's not the way of how since she's been known Queen of Kings. That's not the image that we've seen her in. That's not the image we've seen her in. So I think, she don't want really that part of her life to kind of be known or discussed or whatever. But that's why I want to tell y'all, how I was able to kind of come across those pictures. I haven't come across yet content that's out there where she's in it, but there is so much content. There's so much content out there about Nature Boy. Remember I said I listened to someone who used to roll with Nature Boy, this guy, and he was saying Nature Boy's, in an interview he was doing, that Nature Boy's goal was to be like a Black Messiah and to have his messaging spread all over, to have his face all over the internet, all of that. I feel like he's achieved that, to be honest. Whether you rock with him or not, he's on the internet. Like, he has a big presence. And like I said, that video that I played part of that came from his Instagram, that video is really what kind of kicked him up a notch as far as with people becoming aware of him. That very video, I think, just went viral for him and really put him on the map. So that was his breakout, like where he just started feeling himself. And that's what I think really what happened is that in the beginning, he was one way, but then it just, when he, ego, he started seeing how he got the ear of people and was able to lead and guide people in any direction he wanted. And he took advantage. He took advantage of that. And people will do that. That's why I say, be mindful of who you listen to, in particular on the internet, because a lot of these people out here are whole frauds. Hey, Miss Lisa, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out, give me a minute, because you're my mod on my other channel, and I got to figure out over here. I don't know. I can't make it work. So I can give you your wrench over here, because I want you to do your thing over here too, Nurse Lisa. So just work with me, girl. I got to figure that out, how to get you back that wrench so you can kind of regulate and do what you do over here. But thank you for joining us over here. But yes, so that video just kind of really got him out there. So I say all that to say is just be mindful of who you're listening to, because people will lead you astray. And people who do have a voice, and just even like myself, I'm a small content creator, but I got more people ears than some other people. Some of you all who are not a content creator, you don't, you don't have any subscribers, or you got very little, you have less than me. So just with me having more subscribers than you, more people who tune into my content, that means I have more ears than you do. You see what I'm saying? So you have to be responsible with how you move, because people are listening to you. And those are the things that I take into an account when I go live on any platform, any of my channels. I think about that. And you got a lot of people who don't move responsibly like that. They take advantage. So going back to Rose Miller. So did y'all see the pictures? Did y'all go over there? If y'all just came in, please hit the like button as you come in. The assignment, we the honor students, the assignment was to go over to Google, type in Carbonation Rose Miller, and you will see photos of her. She's wearing a see-through swimsuit, and she has an afro, and she's out in nature. She's a little, y'all, and look at her body. She looks thicker then. She looks good. Body looks good. She looks thicker. She don't look as small as she looks now. But you can tell that's her, that she up near her collarbone, there's still up. She has a tattoo there. So to me, that's very much her. But to me, just that photo, the pose, how she looks, just that kind of quote unquote woke look, like it looks like it was, a picture from back during that time when she was probably under his following, his leadership, and she probably was maybe she's about to be 30. So we'd say she probably was about 20, 23 around that time, 23, 24. And that's around the time when supposedly, allegedly, like she left Adonis. So I just want y'all to see that because as of right now, that's all that I have. Outside of that, y'all stay tuned. I'm about to show y'all the video. Let me see what my likes looking like, y'all, because I'm getting into some things. I got a video I want to show y'all when she cut her hair. And this, when she shaved her head, my likes are at 45. Can y'all give me the 60 likes? Give me the 60 likes. 60 likes, and then I'm gonna share a video that I came across that I'd seen when she first put it out there, and I was able to come across the video again. And remember, I talk about the real reason, like, well, why she shaved her head. That issue didn't have nothing to do with Tosh. It did not have anything at all to do with Tosh. Her shaving her head had absolutely nothing to do with that woman. So the fact that she continuously put that out there is just insane. But that's all right, yo, because I'm going to show the video going back to when she put it out there back in June. And we're going to hear what she had to say in June surrounding her cutting her hair. And I'm just going to say it didn't have anything to do with anything outside of her doing what the hell she wanted to do. Aqua said, OMG. It's a lot, y'all. I know. D-Fit, what's up? D-Fit said, Tribe of Benjamin is what it says. Yes. Y'all familiar with Tribe of Benjamin? What do y'all know about Tribe of Benjamin? Because I'm like, what is Tribe of Benjamin? So I had to research it. What is that? Rolena says that's from the OF. She actually has an OF account for real. I heard something. I thought I'd heard her and Bigfoot say that they had a couple OnlyFans account, but child, Rolena says, yeah, black Hebrew Israelite. Like I said, yes. Rolena says they can't stand white people. So again, if she running around now here with a white man, that's why she wouldn't want nobody to know about that. That's why it makes sense why she wanted to try to rid any. I bet you Bigfoot don't even know about that part of her life. I bet you he don't. I wonder if Adonis even know about that part of her life. I wonder if anybody, how many people know about that part of her life. And that's why she wouldn't want somebody to know about, because how you go from that to now you got a husband that look like the people who you guys like. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. D-Fit said, at least she had her armpit shaved. You said she was moving differently. You said she was moving better back then. Raina said, I just looked it up and found it. Rolena says somebody called her out on her chat and she lost it and deleted it. She was a black Hebrew Israelite. They believe white people are evil. So here's the thing. Even with that being said, remember in the video, I think it was the first one when I was showing the news clip, the compilation from the shade room, it showed the white girl, the white woman sitting next to him. Remember, I said that white woman's family rode up and came and rescued her. They rescued her. So if this is like, how did that white woman, she was over there telling them, I hate my people too? Because how was she able to be a part of the code or whatever they want to call themselves, the carbonation, with her being white, if they don't like white people like that? I don't know, y'all. I'm just asking questions. Ariane says, let's hit the like. It's free. Yes, you all hit the like button for me. What my likes looking like? We got 53. Give me the 60 likes and we're going to move on. I have some more content I want to share with you. Nina Love says, now the nuttiness makes sense. Yes, it makes a lot of sense. That's what yesterday, before I ended the live, when this information started coming out, I was like clutching my invisible pearls, just only because I had never heard anyone connect that Nature Boy's world and Rose Willard's world. But in that moment, I started to connect the dots, and I'm like, it makes sense. Because y'all know I've been covering, reviewing, and reacting to their content since July, trying to make sense of all this. And now, like with me knowing this information, it makes more sense as to why we see the off the wall stuff we see with how she moves as a woman and how she moves just as a mother. Remember a lot of the stuff, just how she's just so sexual, so open. It's just kind of odd, very odd. So yes, it's making sense. What's up, Victoria? Welcome. Janelle says, who has of Rose? So yes, we are talking about Rose. Lisa said, I heard his name before, but never read or listened to anything pertaining to him. Yes, Nature Boy. Yes, only thing you are missing with knowing about Nature Boy is just all of this that I just introduced you to, just his teaching, his thought process, cult following. To me, it never got to be super huge, but it was just quite disturbing when you just see him go on platforms with his followers, and you can just see the control, like literally at the snap of his fingers. Like he would be able to just have the men, not women, the men drop down to massage his feet. Like it would be certain things that you'll see him do as far as with requests that he would have his members do for him. And some of the intimate things, like it would be him requesting the man to do it, not even the ladies, the men. Berlana says somebody who is a Black Hebrew Israelite recognized her in her chat and asked her why she married white. She went quiet and quickly removed the comments. Oh my. What's up, Yvonne McGowan? Says, hello, everyone. What did I miss? Listen, you probably done figured it out by now. We talking all things Nature Boy and Rose Miller and the connection with how she moves and how Nature Boy moves and the members of his cult move. Ariane says, Sheik, you're going to have Roach crashing out all night. Listen, what they say, the internet is forever, ever. Be careful what you put out there, because just because you remove it from the internet does not mean that everybody removed it from the internet, from their archives. The internet is forever. And if she didn't know that at the time, she know that now. So again, I just report what they say. I don't make news. I report it. I report the news. I'm out here reporting the information. And to me, reporting it has us to make some sense of what we've been seeing, because y'all, we've been trying to figure this thing out. We've been having a meeting of the minds between not one channel, but two channels now. We're trying to figure out the hell going on. And yesterday, when them people dropped some tea about her connection with carbonation, I just felt like it was like that missing piece of the puzzle. Y'all know how you putting that puzzle together and you missing that one piece. And you like, I need this piece. That's how I felt when the people in the chat started dropping gems about carbonation in her and said, Sheik, research it. And that's what I do, y'all. I'm a student. Y'all told y'all the education I got. So I like learning. I like learning. And as long as I got breath in my lungs, I am going to learn. I'm going to seek. I'm going to ask questions. And now, with me having this platform and it's growing, I am going to encourage you all to do the same. That's why I want you all to follow along with what I'm doing. D Fit said is giving identity crisis with prune. Yes, a lot of times people who become parts of cults, like they're seeking out family acceptance. They don't have they looking for something. They're searching for something. They feel like there's more out there than what maybe they see just when they open up the front door to their home. So they turn on the internet and they see someone like an Eligio Bishop out there, and he's speaking there. He's saying some things that's intriguing them, and it's basically stemming from just opening up your mind to explore more, to explore beyond what you see in the physical. So here's my thing. I'm all for opening up your mind, exploring, but you have to use it with some damn common sense, discernment. You can't be out here just being a damn fool. You can't be out here being a fool, having a person with the same body parts as you carrying on like they God, and you just doing everything they listen. It's everything is about balance. That's what I say. You can turn anything into bad. It's all about balance. And like I said, I truly feel like when Nature Boy first came on the scene, it wasn't something that was stemmed from negativity. I think it was stemmed from somebody who said, listen, I really feel like there's more than what's before the eyes, like from a spirituality standpoint. So he started asking questions. He started seeking out things. I think where things went left with him is when he started feeling himself and he started seeing that because he knew more than, say, these people who had come across him, they started to view him as a walking God. And instead of him saying, no, I'm no more special than you are, I'm just opening up my mind to just want to explore, to know more, to want to use discernment as I navigate through this world, through this life, through this experience. Nah, he allowed for them to just view him as just a God, which is one of his names was Three God, the God. Like he had all these names, but it was centered around him wanting these people who worshiped him to view him as the savior, the person who basically had the answers, who had the power. And that's to me kind of like where things kind of, started to take a turn. So, child, Brolanda said, and the biggest sin in the religion is to marry a white person. Wow. Lisa said, okay, gotcha. Okay, Lisa, yeah, I'm going to try to figure it out, girl. Wow, I seen it. Y'all seen it. Y'all seen it. PM said, hey, Chic, I saw the pictures. Up, PM. Ariane says, clock that T. Yes, Brolana. Nina Love says she looked way better back then. She did. She looked, it's a beautiful picture of her. Like her body, she had curves. So let's just talk about, let's just say back then, and even if she was, say, running around with him. Let's just say that, because even say back then, if she was running around with him, it could have likely been before he kind of went left with a lot of his teachings. It could have actually been then when it was about just strictly just everything being natural and just taking care of yourself, because she looks good in the picture, body is just like, listen, child, listen. But what was going on in her life at that time, mind, body, and soul then versus, say, today, with her being Mrs. Miller, married to the white man? What happened that had her to completely leave that world and go running in the arms of the white man? Did something happen? Did something happen that put a bad taste in her mouth when it came to the black man? What was her experience like with Eligio Bishop? Let's think about it. Let's talk about it. As we heard all these allegations surrounding him, what was her experience like with him? Because sometimes people will have a negative experience with someone and they'll throw the whole community, the whole culture away because of their one experience with one person, a part of a community. Was her experience with him that bad to where it had her say, you know what, I'm viewing you, black man, in a different light? This man, these men, the caveman, because we, you may have heard, white people refer to the caveman. Maybe the caveman just might be better than you. Let me go explore that. You all got to think about it. For her to have made that brash transition, there had to be something to where something that popped off that had her to be moving from a rebellious state, a rebellious mindset, to run in a direction towards the very people that she was conditioned to study that was not for her, people that look like her. So it just makes you wonder what was going on, what happened with her. Yes, Rose Miller, Tribe of Benjamin, that's what it says. Brolena said a troll account in Tashat said of her OnlyFans handle was Black Yoga. Black Yoga. Wow. Aqua says, child, this just keeps getting worse. Brolena says, this is why when she gets mad at Brad, she reverts to calling him a white devil from the Caucasus Mountains, and why number 2 said he hated white people. Ariane says, Sheik, we know it was lies on lies. What's up, Passion Princess? You said that means she was an Israelite. Wow, listen, y'all, I'm learning. Some of y'all may be more tapped in than I am. I've heard of a lot of some of these names. I used to have a friend. I have a friend. I guess I haven't talked with her a little bit, but she's a Black Jew. I believe that's the same thing. She was the first person that I'd ever met who was a Black Jew. It was my first time hearing about it, but I believe it's the same thing. She dang sure isn't an overt sexual person. She's my friend. She's fully covered, only wears skirts, hair covered. So I'm not quite sure. Y'all can let me know in the comments if that's the same thing. The Israelites, if that's the Black Jew, but she ain't moved nothing like Rose Miller. She keeps her body fully covered, literally, y'all, from head to toe. Like, don't wear her hair out. Passion says, but she's not supposed to be with white men then. Listen, y'all. Yvonne said, let's get the likes up. Y'all get the likes up. Where we at with my likes? Because remember I said we can move on when we get me to the like. Then what was my magic number, y'all? What number I said? I said 60. We have 56. Y'all give me the 60. We got 91 people in the building. Y'all can give me more than that. But get the likes up. We're going to move on. Pam Moeller says, found it. Yes, what y'all think? Brolena said, exactly, Passion. She's committing the biggest sin by marrying white. It goes against her whole belief system. PM says, I don't think nobody knows that part of her life. Right. That's why I said, Lord, I knew she probably would feel away, but I don't listen. It is what it is. It is what it is. I'm a content creator. I react. I research and listen. Listen, when you're on the internet, this is what comes with it. You on the internet. You're on the internet. You do content. You have a big following. People are going to research, explore, react. It's no differently than any of your favorite celebrities out there. Everyone has a past. That's why we also got to be cognizant on how we move out here in these streets. I once heard a local, I live in Atlanta, y'all. I once heard y'all local in Atlanta, popular radio host Ryan Cameron, and they asked him about running for office one day, mayor or something, because he's popular, real cool. They like, yo, Ryan, you should run for, I guess, mayor, whatever. Ryan, like, the hell you say? He was like, I'll never run for office. I got a past. So what he's saying is like, I know that when you're running for stuff, that prompts people to start digging. They start being door explorer, Diego out here. They start looking for stuff. This is what they do. Nobody's exempt from that. When you're trying to get to a certain spot, a certain position, people start digging up dirt from you. They're trying to find something to pull you down. It's just the way it is. Again, I don't make up the rules. I just become aware of them, and I share them. And so the internet, if this was her past, we all have a past. You got to own it and sit in it. You can't try to play people crazy when they uncover your past, gaslight them, and act like they a whole lie and they making up stuff. That's why I said, you all go type this in, go see for yourself. Because what you're not going to do, what she can't do, is come over here and say, I didn't stole some show. Listen, we not doing that. I'm telling y'all, go do what I did. I just researched, put the name in there. She got excited the other day when she Googled her name and seen that she was the first Rose Miller in the world to pop up. Okay, well, what comes up with that is this. You see what I'm saying? So you can't take you got to take the good with the bad. You want to be worldwide in this bitch, you got to take the good with the bad. It's not going to always be good. It comes with the territory. Just even me as a content creator, I come out here, listen, I get people who feel a way about me and how I do stuff. I got to take the good with the bad. It is what it is. You know, it is what it is. I can't live in my feelings about it. Some stuff I might feel a certain type of way, but I have to remind myself, hey, this is the internet. Everybody got an opinion. Just as you got an opinion, other people have an opinion as well. It is what it is. Lisa says Rose has so many skeletons in her closet. So thank y'all. Y'all got the likes up. Let's hop. We're going to come back to the comments. It's a lot of comments in here. I welcome you all. Ashley, you said, what's up? Ashley, you said, what's the name? I missed it. Which name, Ashley? You talking about how to Google what I was talking about? What name you looking for, Ashley? What was it I told y'all to put in the search? You might be talking about that, Ashley. Let me see. Because I wanted y'all to go out there and find and look and see some pictures. Okay, hold on. Let me see. I still got it up. Hold on, y'all. I got so many tabs up. Y'all, I was doing my due diligence. I was doing my research. I was doing my research last night. I told y'all that's what I was going to do. And that's what I did. Let me drop this in the chat for Ashley so she can see anybody. Let me see. Okay. So this is what I said. Y'all go type this in the Google. So let me jump over and I'm going to take y'all to the video with right. Ariane said we are honor students over here, Roach. Yes. You are welcome, Ashley. Yes. So let me share my screen. We about to hop over to show that video. Y'all let me know in the comments. Y'all remember when them people in Carbonation, when they shaved their heads after Eligio Bishop, aka Nature Boy, aka Three Guy. Y'all remember they all shaved their heads? I was trying to find some pictures of them with their head shaves and things like that. I didn't come across any before this before I was able to do this live. But I remember when it happened, there was like video footage and stuff. So I was trying to look for like some pictures, but everyone had shaved their heads. So yesterday in the chat, when I was doing the live, it was a couple of people like, yo, Sheik, remember when she shaved her head? Remember she shaved it? I'm like, yes. They were like, yes, she did that also to be kind of in the support of whatever. So whether or not that's true or not, and that was her reason, I don't know. But what I want to point out is that this video that's on my screen, this was the first video that she did with her head shaved. This is in June, 5 months ago. The people from Carbonation shaved their head 8 months ago. So that was in March. 3 months prior to, they shaved their heads. So what the people in the chat were saying, they were like, yo, Sheik, she shaved her head too, being in support. You can still kind of support and be a part of something without physically being there with the rest of the members. So I'm like, okay, I can get that, because I'm sure you got people who follow people that from all over, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's not always physically, in the same location with the people who they follow, who they support. So that made sense to me. So as I started just researching her and a connection between her and Nature Boy, Carbonation, I ended up coming across this video. And I'm like, oh, snap. This is the video I've talked about many times when she put it out, when she shaved her head. I thought she had removed it because y'all know she be with the quick draw and she takes things down. But she didn't take this video down. So I'm going to play this video of her talking about shaving her head and all that was going on with her. And so you all just form your own opinions or thoughts based off of what she's saying, because that's all we can go off of as to why she shaved her head. Keep in mind, remember the whole narrative of I shaved my head because of the troll accounts or because of Tosh Mob. All of that. Keep that in mind as you listen to this video. You all please continue to like the videos. 96 of you in the building. I welcome each and every one of you. Happy Thanksgiving Eve. Please like the video. I just want to get this in for you all because yesterday I said, hey, I was going to do some research and come back. So this is what I'm doing. I'm just holding up to my word, child. That's all I got is my word. And I do try my best to do that. So let's go. Like the video. So let's get into it. Okay, let's get the volume going. Ooh, child, if y'all only knew how many tabs I got open. Okay.
Okay, y'all, so this video is not going to be like my typical videos at all, so I apologize for that in advance. If you are new here, however, please do click the subscribe button down below to become a part of our cyber. Okay, y'all, so this video is not going to be like my typical videos. I apologize for that in advance. I'm not going to edit it. I'm just going to say what I need to say and then post it. But if you are new here, please click the subscribe button down below. And if you're already a part of our cyber family, thank you so much. So, if you are new here or don't know the backstory, May 20th, we went on a family vacation, me, my husband, and my 4 kids. We did also invite my husband's parents. It was a lovely vacation, so much that I did not want to go home. So I let my husband know I don't want to go home. I want to move here to Hawaii. So he said, okay, that's fine. We talked about it. We figured out the logistics behind it. Everything was perfect. But he said he needed to go back to Arizona to just close a couple things there because obviously we lived there. We were stationed there. So we had things that needed to be handled there. He told me he would be right back. He left May 28th. Today is June 12th. My husband is still not back. The only real thing that needed to be closed there is our 1,100 square foot apartment. We didn't really have anything in our apartment because we were trying to live like simpler. And so we just had a couple clothes. There was nothing really that he needed to, because we also own a home there in Arizona. So I don't understand. Literally cleaning the apartment, which we both figured out was like a one-day job. But it's been 2 weeks. While he's been gone, I did decide to shave my entire head off, although I do have the knowledge that my husband likes women with longer hair. And so I'm a bit concerned that maybe he's not attracted to this new look, which, I mean, like, he's my husband. I thought that we would just go through ups and downs together.
Also, y'all, let me pause there. So remember, she just gave a reason why she shaved her head. But y'all know she has a nose ring now. People just took notice of a nose ring. And she said she been had it. When I came across this video, and as I'm looking at her nose, because I have a nose piercing, I do not see a hole in her nostril because it looks like it would be her piercing is on, I guess the same side, probably her right side. Mine is on my right side. I think hers is on her right. I do not see a visible hole in her nostril indicating she has a piercing. So I don't think she's had this piercing as long as she's saying she had it. I think it's kind of fairly new with her getting the nose piercing. She probably got it since she probably been in Las Vegas, to be honest. But just want to put that out there. We'll get back to this video. But again, she's talking about the husband. He been gone for 2 weeks. He was supposed to be gone, child, for 2 days to clean out 1,100 square foot apartment. 2 weeks. He took it. I don't know if he was cleaning with a toothbrush. I don't know, child. But she said that man been gone since like May 28th, 29th or something. At this point, it was like June 12th. But let's get back to the video. Y'all like the video. It's 99 of y'all in the building. We got 68 likes. Can y'all like the video? Like the video. I'll get back to this video. Let me see. Get me to 80 likes. Can y'all give me the 80 likes? Give me the 80 likes. We'll get back to the video. But so just want to point that out. I do not see a hole in her nose indicating that she had a piercing in her nose. So I do feel like the piercing is pretty new. It's pretty new. But she said, hey, I shaved my head. This is something I chose to do. Like, she didn't put it on anybody trolling her. Oh, I was going through it. She like, listen, I shaved my head. My husband gone. It was a personal reason. Sometimes people go through things. A lot of women have times where they've done things to their hair. Y'all know I didn't cut my hair plenty of times. Took the clippers to it, never shaved it low like that. But you know, I've had it low. I've had it low where it was a TWA a few times. So it is a thing. Women do it all the time where they'll, you know, change their hairstyle. No big deal. But what's wrong of her is for her to put the reasoning for doing that onto someone else, because she no longer wanted to sit in the fact that she did that for the true reason. As we're talking about, we're conversing about what was the true reason why she shaved her head. So remember, I told y'all the members of that carbonation, they all had shaved their heads after Nature Boy was found guilty. They all shaved their heads because they're like, we are one. If he's doing the time, their words were, we're doing the time with him. We in this together. We are in this together. So my likes, I'm at 73. Give me the 80 likes. Give me the 80 likes. And we will carry on with the video. Please give me the 80 likes. Welcome, welcome. Happy Thanksgiving Eve, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving Eve. So, yes. So the other ladies, the other wives, they all had shaved their heads. Because what he had, like 3 wives. I mean, how many wives he got? I think it's 3. He got 3 of them. What's 3 of them that's still around, that's been solid ride or dies? There's 3 of them. One of them, y'all, got a whole child that she left behind to go find him. She has a son. She left her son with her family. And that's how she went. And, you know, when she decided she wanted, I guess, remember, child, these people finding this man on the internet. On Diddy's internet, K-Dot internet, Beyonce internet. They finding these people on the internet and they're going to seek him out. So one of the wives, she literally left behind her young son to go seek him out. And child never looked back. Even that man locked up, and she still didn't go back home and resume being a mother to her child. She's still on this internet wilding about her husband and him getting beat up in jail because some month not that long ago they had something happen to him since he's been incarcerated. And that was the last time I seen the ladies online wilding in their feelings because something happened to him. Y'all get the likes up. Get the likes. We got 73 likes. Give me the 80 likes. Give me the 80 likes. Can you give me to 80 likes? So yeah, these women, he still got their minds in a chokehold. The men, you still got men out here still kind of advocating for him too. But when something went down with him when he was locked up, the ladies were the ones out in the wilderness in the bushes. So I don't know how they was actually venting, complaining about people no longer sending them money, supporting them. I don't know what their game plan is with him being locked up. It's almost giving me that they were so used to this man controlling their lives and running them to where they don't know how to function with him no longer being around to say when to eat, use the bathroom, go to bed, get down and dirty. Like, it's like they don't know what to do without him being around to tell them. and it's very bad. It's very bad. So this haircut, this look that you see her having on the screen, this was right after that happened, like within 90 days of that happening for them. So Rose, what was the real reason why you shaved your head? What was the real reason why you shaved your head? Don't feel crazy about your reason and come up with some other reason to put blame some other reason where you're able to put blame on somebody else because you no longer want to take responsibility for the decision that you made. That was a decision you made. It is not fair for you to now shift blame because now you feel in a certain type of way about the decision you made. Like, this is not how this thing works. This is not how it works. You got to sit in the decisions that you make. You got to sit in the decisions that you make. Lisa said, wow, she looked rubbish in this video. Bromlena says her acting is not good. Ariane says, Sheik, this is too much. That is another lie by Roach. Pink Angels, what's up? He says, pure clickbait, Bromlena, but yet Brett was still working, trying to make as much money as he can before moving to Hawaii. His words. Bobby Allen says in one of her older videos, he said he liked natural hair. She did that to make him upset. Brolena said, the Pink Angel, yes, it was all premeditated. Every family channel has done this. Shan says, I wish you could find the video when she did the reveal of her shaved head. She prancing in the blue swimsuit. That was crazy. I didn't see that one. Africana said, it's on the left. She didn't had it before. She is trying hard to look like champagne, but never. Ariane says, Roach nose is too big. You would have seen it to clock that T. That's why when I seen her with the nose ring, when she's, I'm like, did I miss that? Because I started questioning I'm like, well, did she already have it? Like, I started second guessing myself because I'm like, okay, because it's small. Like her nose ring looks exactly like mine. It's just a very tiny, like diamond, just super small. Yeah, you all have only seen me with a nose ring. Because I've had it for 3 years. I got it when I locked my hair. I got it maybe about a month after I locked my hair. I got my nose pierced. So you all have pretty much most of you have only seen me with my nose pierced, but it's very tiny. So it's very subtle. So when she started talking to the Rosebuds, I guess they were saying, hey, you got your nose pierced? And she was like, yeah, I've been had it pierced. So I'm like, well, damn. I started questioning, was I tripping to overlook her having a nose ring? And y'all, yeah, she does have a wide nose. And so a nose ring would bring more attention to her nose because that's what it does. It's going to bring attention to that part of your face. So yes, people will notice that. But I started questioning if whether or not, I'm like, well, damn, yeah, did she have it already? I started questioning. So needless to say, this is something new. And I feel like it came about probably since she'd probably been in Las Vegas. Probably once she got back there, she probably did it there, probably right before she made the trip to Ohio. That's my thoughts because I don't recall, when I just think about it, seeing that in her nose in Hawaii. Let's see where our likes at. We got 78 likes. Give me 2 more likes and we're going to move on with the show. Brolena says, Shan, yep, she was all booed up with the best friend, happy as heck. Yes. Aqua says, Brolena, she is very calculated in her clickbait. Southern Belle says, Rose lie in every breath she takes. Every breath she takes. Brolena says, Akaro, she admitted she cried for views, so it pretty much makes sense. Fairbanks said, I thought she shaved her head to get back at Brett. What's up, Peter Contel? You say, hey, friends, this is too darn much. Got to go back to the bushes. See you guys later tonight on these streets. Brolena says that, Peter, I know it's too much, but you're funny. Please stay. I can't stand Nature Boy either. Ariane says, let's not pretend Roach don't need a new head. Now y'all know why her head keep hurting. Can't keep up with all her lies on lies. Fairbanks says, I don't think Rose is that deep in to take part in the big picture. She was likely spiteful towards Brett. And Bobby says the ladies are on the Beagle asking for donations and picking with his ex-wife. Oh my God. I was wondering how they was getting money. So they were picking with what's her name? Velvet? Is that her name? Velvet. They picking with Velvet. Rolanda says I think the wives probably don't know how to integrate back into society and probably are living off of the donations they get for illegal. All right, so we at 80 likes. Let's get back to this video. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please continue to hit the like button. Let's get back to this video where Rose is talking about her shaved head and her husband not physically being with her. Let's go. Fair use.
But at this point, it doesn't seem like he's coming. And I'm concerned that he left me in Hawaii with 4 kids and he's not coming. So, that's where I'm at with that, you guys. I guess I'll keep you guys posted in future videos, but I really don't know what to do. I mean, I'm on an island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean with 4 kids by myself. I don't know what to do, y'all.
Okay. I just paused it there because now when she moved her head and I was able to see closely, I can probably see better than you all can. You can probably go to her channel and try to find this video. I do see a small hole in her nostril on the right side. I can see it now. For whatever reason, she just had not been wearing the nose ring, but I can see it now. I do see the hole. It's a small hole that's there. Here's the thing about nose rings too. Nose rings, piercings, they can easily close when you do not have something in them. So who knows if maybe she had to go back and get it re-pierced to start back wearing. Because this was in June where I see this hole, but we hadn't all summer seen her wearing a piercing like that. So it's likely it could have closed and she got another piercing as of recently. But I feel like to be on an honest side, she could at least say, well, you all, I've had a piercing. I just hadn't been wearing it in my nose, like to make people like not feel like or think they crazy by not taking notice of something. Just say, okay, I've had a piercing, but I just hadn't been wearing my nose ring versus saying, no, y'all, I've been had this. What? Girl, if you don't stop it, you know damn well you hadn't been wearing it. So acknowledge, okay, I've had the piercing, but I hadn't been wearing the nose ring, so you all may have not known. Elaborate it instead of having your people think they crazy. But this is what she do. If you don't know better, this woman will have you questioning your whole life existence. But we know better over here. So let's get back to the video.
I don't know. I'll keep you guys posted. Until next time.
So, yes. So there you go. That's her with the shaved head. It's her with the shaved head that she did back in June. So the real question is why? What was the deal with the shaved head? Southern Belle says that bell pepper nose is much bigger with no hair, no hole there. So very tiny hole, no piercing. I could see like a little hole, but no piercing. Ariel says, we can't make this ish up. I'm done. Lisa said, I agree, Fairbanks Soccer Rose. I caught the live when she was cutting those extensions because she wanted him to come back to Hawaii. Yes. I heard her talk about it, saying that like she cut her hair because she was going through it. Then she's like, oh, well, now I really don't know if he's coming back because he likes long hair and I've cut my hair off. Ciao. Brolanda said, y'all, I'm done too. I'm just here to support now, but this too much. It's too much. Robbie Allen says, yes, it's Velvet and she's letting him have it. She's letting him have it. They bowed down to Velvet the whole time she was with Nature Boy. Because Velvet was the main one. She was the wife. She had the child. she has a beautiful baby. Is it a girl? I don't know. That child look exactly like him. I know that. That child looks just like Nature Boy. Beautiful little girl. I think it's a girl, but whether she just has a beautiful child. The child looks just like Nature Boy. Ariane says, I'm going in the bushes with Peter now. Lord, y'all running. Listen, y'all, it's the internet. The internet is forever. It's forever. So yes. Also, I'm gonna show you. I came across this other video too from Fox where we can get more into the wives and the mindset of the wives, and so like what type of mind it takes to just continue to roll with the punches with this man and what he got to say even from behind bars. So this was a video I came across last night. It was very interesting. It also had some is this the one that had some guests? No, there was another one that had some psychiatrists, some therapists kind of giving some background. But I want to play this one because you're able to kind of see the personality of these women who are in his corner, who are staunch supporters of his, who are known to be his quote unquote wives. But y'all know that ain't legal because you can't be married to more than one person at a time. So I don't think he's really, married to any of them really. But they ride or die. They riders for him. They riders. So let's get into this fair use. Please continue to come on in and like the video, like, share, and subscribe.
Thank you for joining us for the second half hour of The Factor Uncensored. We have a follow-up tonight. We report we brought you last week. The group called Carbon Nation, its followers, and their leader, Eligio Bishop, a.k.a. Nature Boy. He has been sentenced to life in prison after prosecutors say he raped a former group member as she tried to escape. Nature Boy still has lots of supporters on the outside, people who say they are his family. They wanted a chance to defend him. So I gave them that opportunity here on The Factor Uncensored, and that's what we do, give both sides. Let's take a look. And joining us on The Factor Uncensored, we have Nature Boy's family members who are here. We have with us Tanisha, Kayla, and Portia. Glad to have you all here on The Factor Uncensored. You all have been following all of the media coverage.
Hold on. Hey, you said you can't find anything. Are you talking about the pictures that I said that was out there of Rose? Is that what you mean when you say you can't find anything? Because the only thing what I did come to find last night was the pictures that she had. To me, that's giving that they were pictures taken back when she was following Eligio Bishop or Nature Boy. If you type in this in your internet search, Carbon Nation, Rose Miller, go to images. There's pictures where she's wearing a multicolored swimsuit that's see-through. That's why I didn't want to I couldn't show it on here. Go here, type in this in your Google search, and then go to images. You'll see a picture of her in a swimsuit. And she has an afro, but I believe that was a photo taken back when she was basically caught up with whatever Nature Boy had going on as far as with the Carbon Nation. So yes, I want to just put that out there for you if that's what you're talking about when you couldn't find anything. But let's get back to the video. Fair use.
You saw the segment on The Factor Uncensored, and you guys said you wanted to clear up some misinformation out there. So, Portia, let's begin with you. When you talk about, and you hear people talk about Nature Boy and the conviction, and now the time that he will be spending behind bars life, what are your thoughts on that? And what's most concerning that's out there that bothers you as a family member?
Okay, so first I did want to start off by addressing a certain, a couple of topics, because I did watch, the news feed that you did previously, and there was a lot of misinformation and misrepresentation of who Eligio Bishop is and who we are. And so I do want to clear a lot of that up, because a lot of things were brought up saying that he was, getting money from people and spending money recklessly. You guys mentioned STDs. You guys mentioned the passing of Mama Thea. And I do want to say...
And real quick, I'm going to let you finish, but just so you know, for the record, all of that came from the court case and the allegations made by prosecutors. But
okay. Yeah. I know, I was there. So I know that a lot of those allegations weren't even intertwined into the court case. See, what happened is that there's a lot of distraction around what really happened on March 24th, 2022. Because
and for those following us and listening, March 24th, what happened then?
So, I'm not going to go into the particulars because we are still in the process of appeal. But we're mainly coming on here to exonerate his name and to shed light on the maliciousness of this prosecution. Yeah. There was a lot of things that were done that were not injustice or spirit of the law. There were a lot of things that were done underhandedly by a lot of people who, said that they were lying about this whole thing in the first place. Yeah. And so a lot of these things are coming from people who have hurt feelings. Hurt feelings because they didn't get what they wanted. And so a lot of stuff starts surfacing. $300,000. I wanted to get into that because before he set out and before that money was given to him, he already had a successful barbershop. It was running. So before he started his journey, he gave that away to one of the barber members that was there, and she paid and she gave him money weekly. So he always had his own money. He always had, and so he had enough that we had created what was called a pot, which was a collective pool of resources. What he didn't use, he always gave away. There was a lot of people who came, they didn't have money. You have to think, traveling over Central America, sometimes 25 people with them not having money. We have to get over borders. We have to pay tolls, gas, food, living. And so he was mostly putting out of pocket that expenses for a lot of people. And he was paying for them to eat. He was paying for the shelter. I know back in 2021, we were doing live entertainment on Bigo, where he was making at least $20,000 a month. And so there was one of the members who said that they gave $3,000 check a month, but that only partially covered expenses. And so it was Eligio Bishop that mostly covered everything for everyone. And these people came to him with problems. You guys mentioned STDs. These people were already documented to have these afflictions before they came.
Yeah, it's like, there's a lot of defamation of character. There's a lot of, because of the recent trial, new people are starting to look up Eligio Bishop. They're starting to be curious about the situation. And I feel like there's been so much false information and so much defamation of character from our online hate groups that's the first thing that people resort to. But there's a lot of intricate details that many are missing. And with all of these news channels just putting out information to create a bias for people and only getting one side of the story to get, I guess, views and just say all of these allegations, we just wanted to clear some of it up, but also keep the point of the malicious prosecution. Look at the injustices of that trial. If you go to our website, natureboytv.com, if you go to our library section, you will see all of the well put together videos that we made to show the corruption throughout his case. And we really want that to be the focus, because I feel like people are getting distracted by his character. Yes. People are getting distracted by their personal feelings about him. And I feel like that's why he was convicted, because of people's personal feelings. Yeah.
Now, if you're completely lost, make sure you Google Nature Boy on social media and check it out, and then come back here to The Factor and continue to watch this interview to get their side. What we wanted to do was get their side tonight. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with the conversation. Welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. The story of Nature Boy and what prosecutors call his cult is a huge story trending right now on social media. If you want to look it up, Google it. He's currently serving a life sentence after being found guilty of multiple charges, including false imprisonment, rape, and revenge porn. There has been speculation about how other members of his group, Carbon Nation, have been subjected to verbal, emotional, and physical abuse. Tonight, I spoke with his chosen family and individuals who wanted to defend him. I asked them how were they really treated, and here's what they had to say. And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. We're talking to family members of Nature Boy Eligio Bishop. We have with us Portia, Kayla, and Tanisha. And Kayla, you were last talking. You're saying that many people put out false information about him, and a lot of false information got into the trial. When people describe him as a master manipulator, what would you say to that, Kayla?
I cannot please.
Okay, and then we can all.
Go ahead.
I think that it is very unfair and unjust that people are calling him that and trying to place him in the same category as Jim Jones or Charles Manson. He did not brutally murder anyone. No, he didn't order anybody to murder anyone. And
would y'all consider Nature Boy or Eligio Bishop to be just as dangerous as any of those white coat leaders from the past, Jim Jones, they said Charles Manson? Would y'all kind of put him in that same category? Yes. Just want to put that out there because I think the difference between as far as with throwing him out as a cult leader versus the other men is that they were white men and he's a black man. He's black. So, he's moving differently. He's moving differently from them, but at the same time, his ideology, his following, I don't think his following though is as large as those white men's with their following was. But who knows if Nature Boy would have continued to walk these streets, how large his following may have grown. Would it have grown to be what those white men's following was? I don't know, maybe not. But I would say it would have probably grown to be larger than what it was when he got, removed from the streets. Over time, it would build. I'm sure he would have probably had more children, brought more women into the situation, which he would call to be his wives. So I think it would have grown. It definitely would have grown. And who knows over time, how large it would have grown. But I just wanted to put that out there because as we can see, the wives don't appreciate the comparison to him, to Jim Jones or Charles Manson, those white men who had large cult followings. So I'll get back to the video. But as you come on in, please like the video. Please like, share, and subscribe.
In their homes. And so Jim Jones, he had he was convicted of killing 918 people. 200 of them were children. See, Eligio Bishop.
And really quick, he killed himself before anybody could convict him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so the comparison is just really unfair to him because that's nowhere near what is going on. These people entered his life, his personal life. This was a journey that he set for himself. These are ways of living that he himself, he sets high standards for himself. And he himself lives like this. There was instances where he told people, please don't do what I'm doing because I live a different way that most people can't handle.
Yeah. And I feel like the black man, especially if he has a mission or decides to do something out of what contemporary society can't put in a box. And they do have a lot of influence over people and people don't understand it. People's first thing is to demonize it. Their first thing is to just look what's on the surface and then, continue to spread the false propaganda that's already been publicized instead of looking deeper, instead of coming to the people who actually can give you what's really going on. And,
And coming to the people, how did he treat you guys? For those who may think you guys were under his control, what was life really like for you living with Nature Boy?
Well, the thing is, everything is on our website. If you go to natureboytv.com, you will see our lifestyle. You will, Nature Boy TV, you will see all the beautiful things that we've done. And people all just, when you have a big light, people want to go to the shadow and make the shadow bigger than the light. Everybody has, and nobody's perfect, nobody's perfect. So we can't just look at the imperfections of someone and just blow that up and paint them as that. We have to actually look at the situation in its entirety. And I feel like if people want to get to know more, just go to our website.
Tanisha, we haven't heard from you tonight. Your thoughts on this and how you feel about Nature Boy, for those who are wondering, how important was he to you? Or is to you? Not was, he's still alive, is to you.
I feel that this is deep, this is very disheartening, and it hurts
that people are defaming Eligio Bishop's character, and they don't have the full story about who he is. So he's very misunderstood. And that hurts because he's my family member and I love him very much. And I think about him all the time because that's my family. And, you know, I know him personally. I know him for myself. I've got to know who he is for myself. Mm-hmm. The people online, they take bits and pieces of what he say and blow up that rather than get to know him personally for themselves. Mm-hmm. So this is very disheartening, and it's very sad that, you know, our people, our melanated people are making a joke out of this. Yeah. A man getting sentenced to life plus 10 years without parole. I personally think that is sad. Mm-hmm. That people don't have a heart and that people don't see the injustice in this case. Mm-hmm. So that's what I have to say.
And when we come back, we'll let you give your final words, and we'll continue to have this conversation with you family members of Nature Boy. We'll be right back here on The Factor Uncensored. And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. We continue our conversation with the chosen family members of Nature Boy, a.k.a. Eligio Bishop. It's been more than a week since he received a life sentence for raping a former member of his group. Tonight, his supporters and chosen family members continue to speak out in his defense. And our guests are back here on The Factor Uncensored. We're talking to family members of Nature Boy, and joining us now is Brandon, another family member and manager. So, ladies, before we wrap up here in the next 3 minutes, what else important do you guys want to get out there to the public?
I just want everybody to know that if they choose to know more about him, to just simply go to our website, natureboytv.com. He explains everything so perfectly. And I think that it's a shame that people take what he says out of context and clip certain minutes and make that a big thing. But if you really want to get to know a person, just go deeper than what the surface says.
Yeah.
Brandon, let's hear from you as a family member as well. What do you want to get out to the public?
I pretty much want to say that, you know, when it comes down to it, the burden of proof in America is not based on the fact that just because you don't like somebody, you know, you shouldn't be able to violate the rights to due process. And I know a lot of people don't like Nature Boy because of some of the stuff they may have heard, but in this situation, I wish you guys please set that to the side and focus on March 24, 2022, because that's the main thing. When everybody understand the facts associated with this case, you guys will be blatantly violated. And the media pushes out certain things without even knowing the truth of what actually occurred on the date. So it's like, you know, and media is just echoing the injustices in the court system. Because, you know, once you see somebody that's made convicted by 12 and they can be sentenced to 30 years, doesn't mean that they're actually innocent. As we see all the time, they end up getting out of jail. And it's more to this, just like the situation, is way more to the story. So.
And you guys are waiting and hoping, ladies as well, for an appeal. You're going to appeal this case, right?
Yes, it's a shame, like, for you to get this much excessive sentencing for a crime that was not violent. There was no brutality. It was nothing, and it was not even provable on a reasonable doubt. Yeah. So just to keep in mind, that is the leading cause of Black men getting put into the prison industrial complex. Yeah. Is false testimonies and false accusations.
Yes.
And it's really sad to say, and I know a lot of people might not like what I'm about to say, but Black women are being used as a catalyst to put a lot of Black men away behind bars, yes. Especially when they're angry.
Really quick, go ahead, Brandon.
I was gonna say, I just gotta echo what they're saying. Like, it's so much more to this process when it comes down, even like the evidence that was submitted to the court. You allow videos of Nature Boy to be submitted into the court, but you didn't allow videos of her to be submitted to the court when she spoke to the police. You allow videos of Nature Boy of when he was on social media, but you didn't allow videos of her and what she said on social media. And it's just like the bias is supposed to be good for the goose, good for the gander. And that's just a little short, quick clip of biases right there within the justice system. So.
All right. We want to thank you all for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored, giving your side of the story. And once again, a really quick, Portia, for those who want to know more about you guys, you have a website, right?
Yes. Please go to natureboytv.com. We have everything laid out perfectly there. We also have more if you want to know about the malicious prosecution. Kayla put together malicious prosecution 1 and 2, and it's very detailed.
All right. We want to thank you guys for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored. We appreciate your time tonight.
So those are the ladies. You see the mindset of the women who are writers for him. They like, regardless of what came out during the trial, the evidence, still, you know, he's innocent. And I heard someone speaking before as I was just kind of researching all of this. Some since last night, and they were like, the reason too why these ladies are still standing 10 toes down for him is that with his teachings, when he would communicate with them, with the ladies, with his followers, he planted in their mind that the system was like not for them. So not for us, not for me, three God, Eligio, Bishop. So for them, they're like, hey, this is exactly what he was talking about. They're out to get him. This system is not designed to work for us. So now as they're seeing that, the system is kind of dealing with him, it's kind of like for them saying, oh, this is what this was what our teaching was about. This is how he prepared us to think along the lines of, if by one day the police come and get me, they put me in jail, y'all need to understand that regardless what they say, whatever they say the evidence is, whatever is lies, they just out to get me. So brainwash, as Victoria say, very much so. It's like they already had the seed planted in their head that when them folks come get me, when them folks come knocking on the door, just know it's that time. This is the system just doing what they do, which is to keep the black man down, to incarcerate the black man. You see, the lady said they feel like the system uses black women to help to incarcerate black men. This is like their thought process. So regardless of what they've seen or the evidence. And as someone said in here, what Bobby said, Nature Boy brought Keys plenty of women. And let me see, Brolena said, yep, Eligio beat y'all up and treated y'all like dogs on the website. Yes, he would be physically abusive, verbally abusive. I've seen videos where he was verbally abusive to the women. One of the wives saying, hey, nobody ain't gonna want you out there in them streets. You ain't that cute. You ain't that attractive. And her response was, yeah, I know. When he told her, you ain't that cute. You ain't that chick. You ain't that attractive. Ain't nobody outside of here going to be checking for you. Her response was, yeah, I know. Y'all think about it. I'm laughing. It's not funny, but this is just the power that he had over these women, to where even though these are all beautiful women, as you see, Stevie Wonder can see, these are beautiful melanated women. Their validation comes from him. So if he's not validating or co-signing anything, then it don't matter. So if he's not saying I'm beautiful, if he's not saying I'm smart, he's not saying I'm valued, then I'm not. You see? So the last thing they want to do is get on his bad side and have him feeling a certain type of way about them. They don't want that. So they're going to do, say, act, whatever, whatever it is that they need to do to stay in his good graces, to be able to be, that top chick, that main chick, because there's always a leader. So in the video, the one that was sitting in the middle, she's like the leader. She's like that one that got the spot. So my thing was, I would imagine when Velvet left. So Velvet was a woman. I don't know if y'all know who she is. I may can find. I was listening to her. Let me see what I can find on Velvet really fast. Because Velvet, she has a child with him. Velvet snuck out like a thief in the night. Velvet got away from him. So I think when Velvet got away, then that's when one of the, the lady in the middle that was talking, that's when her position, when she was able to move up rank and get that spot. So she became like the one, that chick, the one that, had the position, the lead over the ladies. Like she moved into that spot when Velvet left. Let me see what I can find on Velvet, because there was a pretty good clip that I came across for Velvet. I think it was from a Velvet it was a clip, I think, on TikTok, and she talked about how she got away. So let me see. This may be it. I'm gonna share my screen. But Velvet talks about like how she kind of got away from him. So I'm gonna show y'all. So this is Velvet. Velvet is she was the main chick. Velvet was the one who had his baby. Let me see. I got a lot of different things open. Let me find it. Velvet. Okay. So y'all see on my screen, this is Velvet. Let's listen to what Velvet had to say in regards to Nature Boy. Not sure. We're going to let it play. Not sure if this is the one that I watched last night, but let's just see what she says. It's coming from the same interview. She apparently did an interview talking about her experience with Nature Boy and things like that. So let's get into this. As you all come in, welcome. Hope you all are having a wonderful evening. Please continue to like the video as you come on in. But yes, definitely like, share, and subscribe. All of that. So let's get to it. Fair use. Let's see what Velvet. This was the mother of his child. This is her telling her story about her experience being in carbonation.
4 years. From 2017 to 2020.
Okay.
Yeah.
You end up becoming Nature's Boy's main, I guess you could say, wife. And is that wife on paper, or is it just wife?
This is wife in real life.
Like
this
wife
is
in
legal.
real life. Like there's a ceremony, or there's a like how does it work? Like
I can tell you the story. Please. You know, so it was me and Nature Boy in a monogamous relationship for an extended amount of time. He would confiscate my passport, all my documentation, all my identification. He would take it. One day he came to me and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna marry you." After 3 years of talking to me about why marriage isn't important, why we shouldn't get married, why it is, denouncing spirituality. And I'm like, you want to marry me? For real?
Wow.
And in my mind, I'm planning my escape. This is in 2020. April of 2020. I didn't successfully escape until November of 2020. So he's telling me this, and I'm like, but wait, what about knowledge? I'm like, we can't get married. That goes against everything you just said. That goes against everything. So I'm trying to talk him out of his idea. He's like, no, because if I get into trouble, if I get into this or I get into that, you can get me out. You'll take the flag for whatever it is that I'm doing. I was like, in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, I gotta get away before this nigga marry me.
So yeah, that's not the clip that I seen, but that was her talking. She was saying, listen, y'all, I had to listen. I had to get out. I had to get out. This wasn't a move. It was no longer serving me. I got a child with him. I got to move around. So she eventually came to her scruples and got the heck on and got away from him. So she was able to get away. So this is the woman that people say that the wives be windmilling with in the chat, on Bigo with her, because she got away. I'm not quite sure if she testified or anything during the trial, if she had to go through the testimony. But there was a woman who was behind the slam dunk with, him getting put away. There was the woman who said he raped her. She was the one who basically, let me see if I can find that beautiful woman. All the ladies are beautiful. It's just sad that these women didn't know their self-worth and their value. Nature Boy. There was so much that I saw, that I was able to come across as I've kind of been researching, this story or this situation or whatever. But let me see. I want to try to find the woman. Let me see. What was her name? Let me see. Woman accusers. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. What was her name? Let me see. It was the woman. She was the one. Velvet did testify. Yes. Do y'all know the woman name who was the one that accused him of rape that really the whole trial was centered around? I'm trying to, because I listened to kind of her speak a little bit. I came across like a video yesterday or last night when I was researching with her kind of talking about just her experience, you know, the trial and all of that. Let me see, Bishop. Let me see if I'm trying to see if I can find it. It's your boy. Let's see. See if I can figure out her name. Let me see. Said thank you for joining live stream. Please don't forget. Thank you, Lisa. Listen, Lisa, I figured it out. Now I got to figure out this lady's name who was kind of like, they look at her as being the one behind Nature Boy being locked up. They like, because she was the one who accused him of rape. The ladies, the wives feel like, you know, she was just being vindictive. She was just being jealous. She didn't like that that she didn't want to share him and all of that. So they feel like because of all that, she came up with these allegations, and that's kind of how we got to this point, as far as, or now we're beyond it, but him getting charged on a trial for rape. Also, she accused him, I guess, after he assaulted her, she was able to, escape, whatever. And then allegedly, not even allegedly, he was found guilty for putting out revenge porn onto the internet. So that was also, something that he was hit with during, as far as with the trial, with the charges at trial. So it was a slew of charges that he had going against him. Let me see. Janae, is that what you said? Islander Naturi, Janae. Let me see. Naturi is her name in the code. Let me see. Let me put in. I know her face. Let me see if it's Naturi. Let me see. Naturi. Let's see. Nanetri. Let me spell it right. Naturi. Let me see. Is this her? This woman right here. Let me see. Question. Naturi. Does Naturi have a baby with Solar? Does Naturi have a baby with Solar? Because the woman who I was thinking about, she has a baby. I think she has a baby with Solar. Y'all remember Solar? So Solar was also a member of Carbonation. A male member of Carbonation, fair skin. Okay, yes. And I think Velvet has a baby with him too, right? So, okay. So maybe that's it. Okay. Real life. Okay. So let me share. I'm going to share my screen because I'm on her Instagram. But I came across a little interview that I saw of hers. But this is her right here. Janae Alexandria. So Janae and then Naturi. Maybe her government name is Janae, but Naturi is her spiritual name, child. Y'all know how them people be doing. They be changing their names. So this is supposed to be the woman who basically accused Nature Boy of rape, and he was found guilty. He was found guilty, and she has a baby. She has a baby with Solar. Solar was also one of the, so Brolena says Solar is in jail now too. Child, why is Solar locked up? I can't do this, Brolena. I can't do this. The hell he locked up for? What was Solar the one running around with Jaguar Wright about like a year or so ago? Was that Solar who had linked up with Jaguar Wright? Child. I see why folks run off. They're like, Sheik, I can't do it. Listen, the host can't run off. I can't run off, y'all. I got to keep the show going. Bobby Allen says, yes, his first shot was with Zoka. Baby Love didn't make it out of the coat. So let me see. Smuggling. Oh, Jesus Christ. Brolena says he tried to fly to London with too much. So was he was the one running around with Jaguar Wright like a year ago? Y'all remember that when Jaguar Wright was running around with somebody from Carbonation? I feel like it was Solar. Was it him? Was it him, child? Lord Jesus. It's too much. So yes, that's her baby that she has with Solar. And I think Velvet has a baby with him too. He's cute. She has a beautiful. That's a pretty. She has a beautiful baby, but yeah, these women be beautiful women, but just self-esteem is just in the mud. In the mud. So yes, this is her. I remember this big old tattoo when she was doing an interview. But she's a very pretty lady. Yep, it's just unfortunate that these women that got caught up with him. And what I say, if you don't know who you are, somebody will gladly tell you. They will gladly tell you. Brolena says this happened like a few weeks ago. Wow. So that's recent. Yes. Bobby says she has an identical twin. So this woman on the screen has an identical twin. Who is that? Janae or Naturi? She has an identical twin. Yes. So listen, he was pulling them. He was definitely pulling him. But like I said, Nature Boy wasn't a bad looking man either. It's just that he just was lost in the sauce. His scruples was gone, just like a lot of these women. So you can't judge somebody and say somebody got it all together from the outside. That's what you can't do. You cannot do that. You're going to get your feelings hurt. You're going to get your feelings hurt if you think that just because somebody look good that they got it all together. Some of y'all may have experienced that when you didn't got with somebody and they looked good, and then you came to see that they was lost in the sauce, man, woman. They just did not have it together. So you got to look beyond the eye. You have to look beyond the eye and pay attention how folks out here moving in these streets. How are people moving out here in these streets? So yes, tonight I gave you all plenty of food for thought to think about, as far as Rose Miller and how she moves in the connection. One more thing I'd like to show you before I get out of here. There was a video I came across with some therapists kind of speaking about just from the mental health aspect of just the mindset. And y'all know, my background, if you're new to my channel, my name is Sheik. In my background, I have a education in clinical mental health counseling. I have a master's degree in clinical mental health counseling, which means I could be a whole therapist out here if I were to go and activate my license and just set up shop. That's just not what I want to do anymore. I don't want to do that anymore. But I like to come out here and just talk about just different things that are just going on in the world, and just talk about how it connects whatever that the topic is. Just speak about the mental health factor. So these two beautiful women, they're therapists, and listen, they're talking about the situation from a mental health standpoint. So I want to just play this before we get out of here, so you can hear just from the psychology of it all, how we've got here, how this man was able to kind of get to this place where he was able to have these people follow him. So thank you for joining. Make sure you like the video. Definitely like, share, subscribe. So let's listen to what these mental health professionals has to say in regards to Nature Boy and the mentality behind cult leaders and followers. Let's get it.
A good idea, but putting
he convinced a lot of people just to give money. Some people gave $300,000, some people gave land. And with cult leaders, I've noticed it always starts off great. And they always find something to get at a person's heart, whether it's religious, whether it's political, whether it's racial. And they start gradually getting abusive and stuff like that. So a lot of the members, some members died. One member couldn't take her heart medicine because he was against that. She dies. People got STDs because, they were raped and forced to have sex. So it just got out of hand. And we see where it's at right now. He's in jail for life.
And give me a little bit about his background, Alicia.
One of the members who left said he was very abused as a child. His parents died.
I'm sorry, where he came from, because we heard he was a stripper.
He was a stripper and stuff like that. Just a bad guy, you know what I mean? And he had people, barber, just all over the place. But he had people believing that he was the second coming. He was Christ. He was a Messiah type figure. But if you look at his behavior, you showed the video of him saying that he had sex around his kids. What part of that relates to any God? You know what I mean? But somehow you can manipulate people into believing that. And like back to his history, but one of the people said that they don't even blame him because they believe that a lot of the stuff that he went through as a child is manifesting now. They say he's like a hurt child. He's 40 years old, but his parents died young. He grew up rough, and he's projecting some of this stuff. So that power is something that, came from that wanting to have that power came from just a turbulent upbringing.
And Dr. Jones, do you ever think he was sincere in the beginning and then it just escalated and morphed into something more sinister? What do you think in reading and researching him?
I mean, there's a possibility there was some sincerity at the beginning. I think the ideas that he had about living off of the land, living off of the earth, there's nothing wrong with those things. Like saying you want to be more natural, being aware of what you put in your body, maybe even disconnecting from some of the societal norms in regards to politics and, preservatives in our food. So the idea was a good idea, but putting it in the hands of someone who has past trauma and has past hurt that's unresolved, putting it in the hands of someone who's possibly a narcissist or has social personality disorder, that's what happens. It's like putting a gun, and you're putting a gun in the wrong hands.
Remember, like I said, just like this therapist, this doctor said, it seemed like in the beginning he had good intent. It was rooted in, yes, hey, living a natural life, living off the land, using your resources, things like that, and some things that we've seen, or heard, Rose talk about on her platform, Queen of Kings, with just her beliefs and things like that. So it lines up. It's just that when it's someone who's unbalanced, who has like mental health challenges, coupled with that child, it's just a recipe for disaster. So he just wasn't a well person having those thoughts. It just went left. So for all the reasons this doc just said, but this is kind of what I was talking about earlier when I say in the beginning, like I can see how you were like, okay, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, but it just kind of went left. And I think a lot of it, what had it to go left was ego, where he started feeling himself because he had these men and women coming to follow him, and they bet, you saying some stuff I ain't never heard before. You saying some stuff that speak to me. I've been questioning things, and you seem to know. You seem to be rooted and connected with the source. And he just made it seem like as though he was the only one that had the ability to, let's just say, connect with source, to be in tune. Like he didn't teach from a place of, listen, we all have the ability to connect with source, to kind of be one with nature. Like we all have that ability. You don't have to go through man to talk to the higher power. And you have some people who teach just that, from my understanding, like even like with the Catholic religion, like you have to go through like the priest or something to get to God or the higher power or whatever, versus you just having that direct outlet to that higher power. You have to go physically through someone, like how you got to go to confession. You got to like talk to man, and they got to kind of determine if whether or not you forgive or not. Whereas you have people who believe that, no, you can just go directly to source yourself. And I think that he was teaching from a place of, nah, y'all need to come through me. I'm the plug. And y'all, listen, it just was all bad from there. But let's just finish getting through this. But I thought that the doctors had they hit on a lot of great, important things, great things pertaining to just the psychology of all of this. So let's just get back to the video. Fair use. Please like the video as you come on in.
It depends on whose hands you put it in.
And does someone like this, And I can only think about Jim Jones and the Guyana tragedy back in the 70s, where Jim Jones, a pastor, convinced like 1,000 black people to move from Compton to the jungles of Guyana. Does he get that mentality where he feels like he's God at some point?
I mean, yeah.
And I'm talking about Bishop now.
Well, is this sense of superiority that he has. He likely already had it. Now, as far as like why it happened and where it stemmed from past pain and past trauma, that's something we may find out later. But there is this sense of superiority. And once you are able to see that this idea, I can move people into the direction that I want to, and I can convince this person to follow me, it's like building a Legos, but of ego. And he's realizing like, oh, wow. They're actually listening to me. They're doing what I want them to do.
You're creating a monster.
And so it's just building up something that's already dark inside of him, and it's outwardly showing.
And what do you call that type of psychosis or psyche that we're dealing with when you have an individual who may manipulate so many people and be good at it?
Antisocial personality disorder. These people are charismatic. They can charm a room. So you're not easy to be like, oh, they have antisocial personality disorder. They're very manipulative. They really do not care. They generally do not care about anybody else's emotions. They're not really even connected with their own emotions. It's the power. It's the manipulation, seeing that I can move you just by my words or just by my beliefs, and you're actually doing it. It's feeding into that. I mean,
now, you may not care about their emotions and how they feel, but you become a great actor.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, just like Todd was saying, like they started in a place where it was a good idea, but then now you're listening to these videos where he's like saying about the color of their skin, and then they're talking about having sex in front of his son while the son is breastfeeding on the mother. And it's like, I think he's just adding his own ideas, seeing if it sticks. And once he sees that it sticks and people are following it, he goes on to the next thing.
We're going to continue with you, Dr. Boone, in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. As we said, we'll continue this discussion.
Don't nobody owe you, Malia. You got to work in real life. You're not that beautiful. That gonna bag on you. You're not that bad. You're just not. I'm being all the way honest with you. And gonna bag on you the way I'm doing. I'm gonna take care of you like you gonna work at Walmart. You're gonna be some late night, or you might get a relationship with a broke. But ain't nobody about to bag on you. You're not that bad, Malia.
How do you say you're Ike Turner?
That woman, he hit that woman with all that, and she said, I know. She said, I know, Lord. Listen, self-esteem just non-existent. Non-existent. Brolanda said, I agree. The initial idea of living off the land sounds beautiful at the very beginning. Aqua Rose, I agree, but Rolanda says it's a beautiful idea, but the leaders let their ego and pride and power ruin everything. That's exactly what happened. Rolanda says he broke them. He did. But he was able to do that because these women weren't solid in themselves from the beginning. They weren't, because when you're strong, when you're rooted in strength and you know who you are, you solid, you know who you are, you can stand 10 toes down on that. Someone can't come along and do that to you. It's only when you're already broken that someone can come along and just really just kind of finish you off, like, because you're already weak mentally and emotionally. I'm sure these women have dealt with trauma prior to encountering him. So here it is. It's just added trauma. These women weren't strong. And this is too why they're still there. Even with him being gone for 8 months, they're still there holding strong, fighting the fight, windmilling with exes on the internet. Like, really? Women, like, one of them is a whole mom. Go home to your child. Child, let's get back to the video.
Without saying you're Ike Turner. Welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. That was just some of the verbal vitriol followers of the Carbon Nation cult chose to endure. Their leader, Eligio Bishop, a.k.a. Nature Boy, is now in prison for life after being accused of raping a former member. Tonight, we continue our discussion about the mentality behind cults. Todd Smith, CEO of Regal Media, and therapist Dr. Jasmine Boone and Dr. Angela Jones are back. Dr. Boone, when you see someone taking verbal abuse like that, and we want to talk about the followers now.
Yeah.
What does it take for an individual to be attracted to one like Eligio Bishop, and then not only be attracted, but to stay after being verbally abused and physically abused and sexually abused?
So Todd mentioned this earlier. We have to keep in mind that he gained a lot of his followers because they were watching his content on YouTube. So they were already aligning with a lot of the topics he was talking about, the living pure, living off the land. So they already had that alignment. Now, who's to say what their childhood looked like, if they're looking for father figures, if they're looking for what their meaning in life, what their purpose is, but they're attracted to, like, he is certain about what he believes. He is confident about what he believes, and that becomes the initial attraction. If I'm a person who's like, God, I don't know what my purpose is, I don't know what my meaning is, and this guy's like, oh, I can help you. You're like, oh, can you? Because there's a confidence that he has. So what a cult leader often does, he's going to get you away from anybody who can talk some sense into you.
Isolate you.
Isolate you as soon as possible from anybody, a mom, a sister, anyone who's going to be able to talk sense into you. He's going to get you away from them, right? So once he has you in their grips and they've gone off grid, that's when we start seeing the manipulation and the change. It's a slow burn, right? It's a slow burn. So once you're so deep in, now as a cult member, there's this cognitive dissonance that shows up. And that is like, I can't believe I got myself in this. And so now I got to stay because, like, this is too much. It is a disconnect. It is a misalignment of what I once believed and what's really going on. And so now there's this shame, there's this embarrassment, there's this, like, I can't go back now. And so they're staying much, much longer than they would.
So what she's saying is that sometimes you can just stay in something for far too long to where it's harder for you to get out because you stayed too long. Kind of just think about that, even just in a sense of just a relationship that you may be in and you know it's not working for you, but you just continue to stay in it. And the longer you stay in it, the harder it is for you to leave. So you're getting more and more vested mentally and emotionally in the relationship. The abuser is getting more and more into your hand and your psyche. So it's still like the same thing as Nurse Lisa said, yes, predators can sense brokenness, weakness, low self-esteem, and more. So you have people, men, as far as from a relationship, they'll do this. So they're just talking about it just, with a cult following, but it's the same thing. A predator is a predator. Stockholm syndrome. Brolena says Stockholm syndrome. It just feels comfortable because you're used to it. Yes, people get used to just the dysfunction. And then it's like they become accustomed to, this is all I know. You ever hear someone say, well, they be like, why you do that? It's like, well, hell, it's all I know. Kind of like somebody choosing to not leave the hood. Well, hell, this is all I know. My mama here, my grandmama here, my aunties, my cousins. Where else I'm going to go? I mean, my family here. You see, a lot of times you'll see, like, say, people who eventually maybe physically leave the hood and they still kind of go back and can't seem to leave it. And they wind up just somebody getting them. And next thing you know, they ain't with us no more. Because they still couldn't leave the hood. They kept going back. And you have people like that to where they just still continue to stay attached to just the toxicity because it's just what they know. It's what they've become accustomed to. What I say, you're a product of your environment. This is just what you know. You know no differently. And then when people try to speak to you about something out there that exists that's different, you're like, what? These people don't even believe you. They think, oh, you lying, that's cap. That ain't reality. It ain't reality that I can get with a man who gonna respect me, not call me out my name, take care of me, some children, wife me up. This ain't no reality. I ain't never seen nothing like that. I ain't never seen no man that not get physical and put his hands, like, a lot of times their reality comes from just what they've seen take place with other people. So it's limited. So their experiences, their viewpoints are limited based off of just what they've seen with their eyes, their experiences versus taking into an account what another person may say, where it might be, no, everybody ain't like this. Everybody don't move this way. Try going over here. And they can't believe, their mind can't comprehend something being different, something being better, because they've never seen it. Like they can't comprehend it. Because, like, what are you talking about? That's only in the movies. It's like, well, no, it's not just in the movies. But some people really feel like a good life is just non-attainable for them. And these women likely experienced trauma prior to coming to him. So this is all they know. They're like, well, hell, this is a man. What you ever hear a man say, well, I do this because I love you. In the Kim Porter book, when I've read, her book, Puffy would hit her with, like, after hitting her, I do this, because I love you. That you hear those words in movies. Like, I guess it's a real thing because I've never been in a, abusive relationship like that to have, someone say those words to me. But it seems to be a real thing where abuser will abuse you and then follow up with, well, I do this because I love you. And you know, you hear it long enough, you start to believe it. And especially if you see this very thing taking place with other people who are near and dear to you, you're like, hey, this is the norm. This is what people do. And it's like, you know, you continue to endure it. Very sad, but let's get back to the video. Thank you for being here. Just want to get through this. I thought it was a really good clip with what these mental health professionals had to say about this topic. So please like the video, and thank you for being here with us tonight.
Top of the fact that they're probably scared, right? He doesn't seem to be the most kind leader, right? He's been abusive. He's probably made examples out of other cult members. So there's a lot of different layers to this as to why they would stay, but how they come in the first place, it's slow. It's a slow manipulation. There's similarities, there's kindness, you're feeling this void, right? And then boom, here's the change.
And just like Angela, Dr. Jones, individuals like Charles Manson, even when he was put in prison, the ties were never cut with the members.
Right.
And so they remain loyal even after they go to prison, even after the system says you're guilty, even after they hear from the victim. So, I mean, can you even break those ties unless he decides to break those ties?
I mean, some of the ties won't be broken because you have to remember, while you're in a cult, they're also training you about the system. So this is what they're going to say about me. This is what they're going to do to me. And so you're also not only trained about the theories and the philosophies of the cult, you're also being trained to know that, like, the system is the problem. So the fact that he's in court and he got sentenced to life and rape, he probably already talked to them about that.
Yeah.
Like, this is what they're going to portray me as. They're going to take the meaning of our love and how we represent our love and call it rape. You know, so they already been trained for this possibility that he is going to get arrested because he is now victimized right now. The cult people are looking at him and they're like, poor him. Our leader is being, you know, prosecuted by the system. And so this has already been like rehearsed into them. It's already been massaged into them, like they said, like a slow burn. You don't go into something and they say, okay, this is what's going to happen. It's slowly taught to you that the system is going to go against me. So be ready.
All right, we'll be back with more Factor. Don't go anywhere. We'll pick up the discussion on the other side of the break. We'll continue talking about cult leader Eliseo Bishop out of Georgia, who has been sentenced to life in prison. Stay with us here on The Factor. To The Factor Uncensored, we continue our discussion about the psychology behind cults. The members of the Carbon Nation were subjected to a few different conditions over the years, including polygamy and refraining from bathing. The leader, Nature Boy, will spend the rest of his life behind bars, sentenced this week. He was recently sentenced for that rape. And Todd Smith, CEO of Regal's Media, therapist Dr. Jasmine Boone and Dr. Angela Jones are both back here. Now, one of the things he was always preaching, we're one race, we're one people, and all of a sudden now, I'm the black man, and they're out to get me. And it initially started with a young lady, white female from Canada, whose family called authorities and put a lot of pressure on him. And it's a multicultural group, but now he's saying it's about him being a black man. Your thoughts on that, guys?
Right, the video, it's actually the video.
So remember I said the white girl who family came and got her. I want to point that out. You see how the difference with the communities, how just with the black community versus say any other communities when it comes to the support of one another, rescuing one another. Like the white woman's family went and got her. They like, oh, bet. They said, you know, because they would be on the internet saying, okay, you know, so you knew kind of where they would be at. So I guess it wasn't really, you know, hard for the family to go to find her because they would, you know, be on the internet, make, you know, that's how they seem like they would make money from content creation. But that woman family, they said, well, she was Canadian. They went and they rolled up on them and got they family member. So just think about just with all these black people who are caught up or who, you know, in the cult back when he was out, none of them had family members that came and did what that white girl's family did. Like really think about that. And it just goes to show just with the supports that we have just, you know, in our communities, our families, to where when we are down bad, do the average black person really feel like they got people in their corner, supports where people will ride out for them and come pull up, like, you know, and rescue them like what the Canadian woman did? Because I'm very familiar with Nature Boy and all this his shenanigans, and that's the only person who was affiliated with him at any time where I've come to hear that a family member kind of came through and swooped her up. It's very sad, but it's like, why couldn't that happen with the other members, the other people who were following him. Like, why couldn't they come through and just, grab hold of their family member? And I'm going to assume the white chick, the Canadian chick, was of age, like legal. I never heard nothing talk about as far as with her being a minor or anything. So I take it she was just a young adult like the other black ones, but she had supports in her corner in her life in a way that the other ones didn't have. The other ones still today don't have. And it's just sad because I like to think that with my family that I got, if I got caught up with some mess like that, they would show up and try to put up a fight to try to get me. Even if I was resistant, they would at least kind of come through, make the attempt like this Canadian woman's family did. But y'all, it didn't happen like that. Southern Belle saying ain't no love in a fist. Brolana says the white girl had an official psychiatric diagnosis, so they were able to do a 5150. Miss Yellow Red says Velvet Marquez father fought for her. Let me see. You said her father fought hard for her too. Okay, thanks for sharing that. Brolana says, yes, Velvet father went down various times. The white lady was able to be placed on a 5150 hold. And Southern Belle says, ain't no love in a fist. Yes, thank you guys for that information. So yeah, so that's Velvet. Like, do we got any stories with any of the other members where the family kind of fought hard to try to come through to save them? So that's two. We got Velvet, and then we got the Canadian woman. What about any of the other women who still was a part of Carbonation? What about any family members for the young men? There was some young guys, who were a part of Carbonation. Like, do we got any stories or where any family members came through to try to, fight to get them? Because I'm a mom. I got sons. I got a daughter. I'm going to try to fight, to roll up, for my sons, even if say they don't want to come with me, I'm going to make an attempt, I'm going to roll up with some other men in my life, my children's father, my husband, uncles, cousins, like we're going to try to do something versus just letting it, just play out. It's just very sad. Brolana said it's hard to get any adult out of there unless they are officially diagnosed. Other black family members fought. Wow. So thank you for sharing that. Let's get back to this video.
Of him staying in the front, and he has all the multicultural people behind him saying we're one color, we're all different shades of brown. And then the fact that he was able to just take what our philosophy is of this cult, flip it to use it to, for his advantage. To me, it's almost like a red flag to the cult members, like, hello, like he wavers, but it's just a red flag, even just for people who are even thinking about joining this cult. Like, okay, you don't really have a strong stance in regards to that. We're all one. You're just using that to get more members into there, so you can get more people to manipulate, to get their money, and to do whatever.
It's all manipulation, and that's typical of a cult leader. It is as it is convenient and favorable for me, right? So it's favorable for me to believe that we're all one color right now, but as soon as that is no longer convenient for me, it's racism, it's this, it's that. So you'll always notice with a cult leader, I am the center, I am the God complex holder, right? And so that's what we're seeing. He's shifting because now that's not working in my favor. It's a racism issue.
And we're talking about motives, money, sex,
power,
and control.
Yes, yes.
And when we say money, guys, PPP loans, he convinced many people to give their loans because he started before the pandemic.
Right.
Todd, but
and that's in every cult that I've ever studied, money is always the root of a lot. That's obviously sex as well, but to convince people to give their life savings, like I said earlier, one person gave $300,000. Some people gave land. We see it in all walks of life. It's just not sex, but we see it in politics. I know we're not talking about politics. When you convince somebody, woe is me, they're out to get me. We see that all the time. But people are I think people have a need for a messiah from people who aren't the messiah. You see what I'm saying? We need somebody to save us from the problems of the world. So you start believing that type of rhetoric, and we gravitate towards charismatic people, not realizing what their message is. Like you said, you keep switching up. You see that in all walks of life. One minute there's no racism, or it's not about race. Next minute it is. So we see that in all walks of life because we want to believe that one person is going to correct all the wrongs of the world and it's going to change our life. No, it's not going to happen like that. I have a friend that would always say, we talk about religious cults, a pastor's my pastor, they're not my master. You see what I'm saying? Like the minute you try to dictate what I do, you want to control my money, that's when I back up. I have to leave with you? No, I'm not leaving anywhere. So people have to realize these are human beings. Stop looking for God in human beings and start realizing that nothing is going to change your life but you. And that's going to change the world.
And really, the last time when I was researching this, I found there are a lot of current active cults that are out there.
Absolutely.
And we see a proliferation of them as a result of social media.
Right.
And so people have to be careful who they follow, right, Dr. Jones?
There's a new platform. I mean, social media is everyone's new platform. And, cult is not only about a religious belief. It can be about a therapeutic belief, just an ideology. It could be about
A lifestyle.
It could be a lifestyle. So it doesn't always have to be surrounded around like a god or a religion. It could just be we have common thoughts and we come together, but then what happens is the definition of the cult is different. It's about analyzing that one person rather than an actual, a belief or ideology.
All right. We want to thank you all for joining us on The Factor on Censored Night. Fascinating story out of Georgia.
Ooh, so yeah, I thought the ladies and the gentlemen did a great job with just explaining just the psychology behind it all, because many people just often may wonder, like, how do you get here? Like, how do someone just get a hold over your brain and just your whole being? Like, how? But again, I believe that it's just rooted in just the foundation of just that individual. How strong were they to begin with? And oftentimes, I personally feel like people who wind up in these situations, they just weren't strong to begin with. Because a person who's really solid in who they are, their stance, someone can't just come along just like that and just completely just turn them around like that. It just doesn't really happen. And so this is just trauma. And then as they talked about with Eligio, prior to him getting locked up, oh, we're all one, this, that, and the third. But then once he get locked up, then he wants to, oh, it's the system. It's because I'm black. Like, so it's just like, okay, what is it? But y'all, we hear Rose double talk a lot, stuff dealing with race. 1 minute, okay, it don't matter, this, and that. But then she constantly do race bait type content. So it's like, how do you really feel about race? Do you feel like it really is a thing? Or do you feel like, no, it don't matter? Like, what is your stance? Because it's just like, you're all over the place when it comes to it. And I personally just feel like Rose Miller is just someone who's just out there, who's just lost. And there's many people who are out lost. But it's I think it's most scary when the person is raising children and they're out in this world lost in such a large magnitude to where the decisions that they make and how they move are just decisions that can impact the quality of one's life, like their own life, their children's life. It's just like the magnitude of the decisions that they're making. Like, is it just little small things that don't matter? Or if it's like big things, like say her children and them learning and education, like that's something big. Her constantly moving a lot. Remember Carbonation, they moved a lot. So is this something that Rose is accustomed to doing? Remember, prior to her even coming to learn of a nature boy, she moved around a lot with bouncing between her parents' house, going from California to Ohio. Her mom was in California, dad in Ohio. Like that's how. So then she lived in Georgia at one point with, her kids, the two oldest father. Then she left and went back to California. So she's moved around a lot. So this is all she knows. This woman knows nothing about stability, which is a problem, because now that she's raising children, they're not going to know what stability looks like. You see them saying like how it, like the pattern, they're not going to know what stability looks like. So what this means is that as they grow, they're just going to constantly just be just moving around, not sitting still, not creating, not having structure. And just think about things from the perspective of the boy. They're all boys. She has all sons. So it's a high probability that, they would grow up and to be men and husbands, fathers. Like, what kind of leaders will they be in their communities, in their families, where when they don't know what it is to be consistent, to sit still, to build a foundation? Like, where are they learning this from? Their lives, they're literally on the internet. So we can't say, oh, well, we don't know. Yes, the hell we do, because they put everything on the internet. The way these young men, these babies are being raised, they're not being raised in a way to where they're going to be able to be good leaders for anyone. How are they going to lead their homes, communities? Like how? Where are they getting it from? So as we see, in Nature Boy, he's constantly moving around. Rose Miller constantly moving around. Guess what? Her children are going to be children as long as they stay in her care. They're going to constantly move around. And with that, and the likelihood of them creating broken homes is going to be very high because they just going to be kind of moving around. They're just going to, it's like when you somebody that move around a lot, say as a male, you can plant seeds all over wherever you stop. What they say, Papa was a rolling stone. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. Like, that's real. A lot of men who got like a lot of kids out here, they don't sit down long. You notice a common thing where they kind of on the go a lot. They're constantly on the go. Nature Boy was on the go a lot. Rose Miller is on the go a lot, and she's married with a husband and kids. That's the crazy part. It's not even out here like we follow this woman and she's single and this is how she's living her life. No, like there is nothing about how she's living her life that even makes sense for someone who's a mother of 4 and married. Like, it's crazy work, y'all. So that's why yesterday in my live, when a couple of people came in and start connecting her to Carbonation, it kind of clicked to me because I'm like, it makes sense because how she moves, how this woman moves, she moves just like how they move. She does. And now, since I've been doing this live almost 3 hours in, I'm wondering what was the reason why she left? What happened? Why did she leave? And when she left, she went eventually into the arms of a white man. And what I've come to learn about the Hebrew Israelites, they ain't with that, the white man stuff and mixed breed. They ain't with all that. So what happened? What happened that had her to say, you know what? I'm going to go all the way left. This on some other stuff. Did something happen with an experience with a black man yet again in her life where she's like, I'm not doing this no more. I'm not doing this no more. Remember, the first black male figure in her life was her father. What was her experience like with him growing up? So that's a big question mark. Then there was, Adonis. She talks about, Adonis, who's her children's father, who she say she was married to. What was her experience like with him? Then after that, she moves across country. And for what we learned, she ends up embarking on Carbonation in California. What was her experience like there? So did she have just a multitude of experiences with black men that she deemed to be unfavorable that had her to say, no more, I'm going this way? Because it's like when you think about just how the Hebrew Israelites roll with their stances, and then we come to learn that allegedly she used to roll with them, and then now we see how she rolls today. It's like an oxymoron, polar opposite. It's like, wait a minute, what happened? It's like somebody who was part of KKK going to join the Muslim, becoming a Muslim. Like, really, like, is that crazy like that? So it's like, what happened? Something had to have happened for her to make that complete shift. And a lot of times when somebody make a complete shift that's just so polar opposite, let's just say someone who used to be heterosexual just makes a complete shift to go into a same-sex relationship. 9 times out of 10, there was a bad traumatic experience that they had in their previous situations that had them to say, I'm not doing this no more. Throw the whole culture community away. I'm doing something different. And that's, to me, what it gives with her. She had a traumatic experience, and it had her to say, you know what? I'm done with the black man. I'm about to go and do this. And even if, say, today, low-key, she really don't feel that way, we've completely been done with the black man, but I feel like maybe at that moment, that was how she was feeling. So she was like, you know what? Let me just do something different. They say the white man is this, that, and the third. Well, he can't be worse than y'all. So let me try something different because y'all full of ish. You just, like, people will low-key like throw away a whole community, a whole group of people from an experience with one person. People do it all the time. People do it all the time. Racism is a lot of times rooted in that. Somebody will have a bad experience with one person, one family, and they just think everybody's that way. And it's sad, but it's just the way it happens It happens. Brolena says she rebelled and did a 180 probably out of spite. Exactly. But what was the event that took place that had her to rebel? Miss Yellow Red says, in my opinion, she wants a simp. Aka Rose says she wanted to ride the interracial relationship bandwagon for clicks and views. Most people in interracial relationships are in them for genuine reasons. Brolena says, LOL, I'm thinking Dave Chappelle KKK skit. Y'all, listen. Rolanda said 100%. Aka Rose. Aka Rose says Rose found a niche that was popular and is riding it out. Miss Yellow Red says she dislikes herself to constantly put down Black people, especially when raising Black men. I think also when I think about her is, do she feel like she's more uplifted and appreciated by people outside of the Black culture? So let's just say when she was in the circles of Black people, did she not feel like she was the most beautiful person in the room? Did she not feel like she stood out? So did she say, well, let me go someplace where somebody said she wanted a simp. Let me go into a room or environment where I can get somebody who will worship the ground I walk on, who would think I'm beautiful, who I believe I would be the best thing that they could ever get or pull. Because I'm pretty sure in her mind, she feel like Brett, from like a physical standpoint, couldn't pull somebody who looks as good as her. I'm sure that's how she thinks. I'm sure that's how she thinks. So, it's a multitude of reasons as to why she does what she does. But I think that this whole carbonation thing is an added layer, and something for, that makes for a great discussion because it makes sense. Like, I do not feel like we're far off base in this conversation. I do not think so at all. Brolena says, yes, she did say that white older sugar daddy thought she was stunning. Yes, a lot of white men, like what's the word? They fetishize Black women. Have you all heard? I've heard it said before that a white man will say that. I've heard this saying that they say that you're not a real man until you've been with a Black woman. So a lot of white men fetishize Black women, especially darker complected Black women. Why do you think like in like the fashion industry, darker complexion Black women do far better than, like, you don't really see like a whole bunch of like light skinned supermodels. You all notice like the models that be just really doing a thing in the industry, that's supermodel status. Most of the time, a lot of times, like Alec Weck, is that how she say her name? Like, they're very, very, very dark. They like, they find dark melanated Black women to be very beautiful, whereas within the Black community, Black people don't find that as a collective to be the most beautiful. You'll find people to say, oh my God, their skin is so beautiful, it's so dark, it's so rich. But as a collective, you're not going to see other Black people, like Black Americans, like put on a pedestal like a dark-skinned Black person and have them be the face of something that's centered around beauty. You're not going to see that. It's going to be more of a fair complected woman. Maybe brown, but is not as dark as like Alec Weck, that supermodel. It's not going to be that skin tone. So to me, I feel like non-Black people, when they look at beauty and Black people, in particular Black women, their eyes, their eye for beauty is very different than the collective eye for beauty from Black people within the Black community. Within the Black community, it's almost like the lighter, the better. But with white folk, they like Black is Black. But if you super dark, it's something about that rich melanated skin. And maybe it's the stark contrast against theirs. It's something about that dark skin that they just like, they are just here for. So I can definitely believe that when it comes to white men, non-Black men, they find her to be ultra beautiful more so than, say, the Black man. The Black man may just find her to be average at best, or they be like, okay, yeah, you are right. But, they look at you, but you kind of skinny, how, you ain't got no butt, you ain't got no boobs. But y'all, the white man really ain't, when they check for women, they not looking at curviness. They like they women little, stick thin. They're not butt people like that. It's just, they're, like I said, their eye for beauty is very different than the eye for beauty within the Black community, what I've come to see. And I just think that she feels like that she's more celebrated outside of the Black community. Yeah, I mean, that's just my opinion on that one. Brolana says, yep, Latinas too. Brolana says, and Asian women too. Miss Yellow says, that's true. You're right. Brolana says, yes, in the European fashion industry, the darker your skin, the more beautiful you are. Francis said, I had to go, but I'm back. And what did I miss? A whole lot, Francis. Brolana says, yes, if you're super dark in Europe, you are worshipped. But think about that, you all. In America, which is where I'm at, that is not how it is. If you're super dark, like you almost get in the business, you dang sure not finna probably be cast as the love interest in the movies, in the music videos. And typically the ones who are cast as like the interest who is Lupita, they're non-Black American, they're non-ADOS or FBA, foundational Black American, like they're African, they're from Africa. They're not Black American. Like the to me, what I've noticed is that the Black women in the US, and even say the ultra dark Black men in the US who get put up on a pedestal, they're not Americans. They're not Black Americans. They're from someplace else. They have very, very dark, rich, melanated skin. And it's the white folks that put them on that see something in them. It's not that it was another Black person, Black American person that's seen the beauty in them. It was like some non-Black person, likely white, Caucasian male, who said, wow, you're beautiful, you're stunning. I want you to be the person in front of the screen, What they say, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. That's what they say. That's what they say, child. Brolana said, I noticed that in the US, it's the opposite. Yeah. Yep. And, I've been places. So like when I went to, but here's the thing, you all, I went to Paris. When did I go? I think it was in 2018. I think I went to Cuba in 19 and Paris first in 2018. So when I went to Paris, there was like a lot of like dark skin, like people like super dark, like Alec Week, like the supermodel. And but they didn't have them. You only seen them in around like the Eiffel Tower, which is like I guess you would call it, I don't know if I would call it, I guess the tourist area. And they'll be set up shop and selling their little products. And they'll have, their carpet on the ground and their little items, trinkets, and you can come up and bargain with them with cash or whatever. But then when you go into like the shopping district where they had like all the, like the Zara, that's how I came to know about the store Zara. Like I've never even heard of that store. Until when I went to Paris, and I was in the shopping district where they had the Louis Vuitton, they had all the high-end stores, but the dark, heavily melanated people that came over, from Africa, I don't know if they was all over there on the visa. I don't know, child, but it was just like a whole bunch of them, and they were men. And it was just like, they didn't work in the hotels. They only worked outside during like side hustles. But the shopping district that we went to where we had to go, like we caught a bus to go there. And that was maybe like a 20-minute ride out. They didn't go in there. So I don't know if it was a rule where they weren't allowed to go over there. I think when we spent the day over there in that little shop, in that shopping district, I think I seen one. And I don't even know how he got over there because they were everywhere around the Eiffel Tower. I'd never seen. So what country is that where a lot of them may be? Is that Somalian? They were all very, very, very dark. Like I'd never seen people that dark, like in person like that. But in the shopping district where the money was at, like the money, they weren't over there. It was like one. And I was like, man, I see one, but though at the Eiffel Tower over there, there's like a whole bunch of them. So it's like, what's the deal with the agreement with them coming over to Paris to work with what type of jobs they can do. They weren't riding, they weren't able to drive, they weren't driving like the city bus or anything like the buses. Like they weren't doing like jobs where they were dealing, where like they maybe was getting like a paycheck from someone to engage with the public. Their jobs was only limited to like side hustles, but it was a whole bunch of them. So I took notice of that with just like the whole segregation of it. Now, whether or not while they're out there, if they're treated any differently, I don't know. But I just took notice to how just throughout with Paris, with how they were only able to, it gave like they were only able to stay in a certain area. Like this is the area you stay in. Don't get caught outside of this area. Don't get caught over there with the white folk, with the people who got all the money. Don't get caught over there. That's what it gave, because you did not see them over there. And it's a whole bunch of them over there. So I found that to be very interesting. But that's why it's good if you have the opportunity to travel, because you get to see things and experience things that it's very different than just anywhere. No place you go to when you travel internationally is going to be like home where you're from. What I've concluded from just traveling, from just going to the different places I've gone to, so far, I've yet to travel to a country where I'm like, yo, bet I would rather live here than my own country in America. Because every country, everywhere you go, have their own struggles. Everything has good and bad. You have to really think about, what would you rather endure? What would you rather endure? Because you may be feeling like you winning in one area, say if you go to Paris, but then there's going to be areas to where you can like, damn, but in the US and America, I was able to do this, that, and the third. So by me just traveling to these different places, I've taken that in and be like, yeah, no matter what kind of concerns, whatever issues I may have or feel a way about my country, the USA, in all, I'd rather, there's more pros than cons when I try to, compare it to other places that I've been. In 2019, I went to Cuba for that little split second they allowed for Americans to go over to Cuba before they shut it back down. I was able to go to Havana, Cuba. And child, Lord Jesus, I was not ready. So, I wasn't ready. So I've yet to go to a place yet where I'm like, bet I'm picking up, I'm leaving here, bump, forget the US of A. I ain't found that place yet. I've not found that place. Canada is on my bucket list. I hear it's a lot like the USA. I feel like, just from what I've seen online, movies, that would probably be the only place I would feel probably the most comfort with trying to call home, because it seems very, comparable to America just from what I've seen on television or on the internet. But child, Cuba, Paris, Jamaica, Honduras, child, Mexico. I can't do it. I cannot do it. I can't do it. Oh my goodness. Hey, Carrie said, Berlin, I think she's she just wings life. She just gives lives for the moment, whatever comes in her head, and no structure. That's what it's giving, Karen. Bless up. What's up, bless up? Prolena says, Zara is from my country. It's literally like Walmart here. Very cheap. Yes. I had never heard of it. My sister was familiar with it. But one of my sisters was, but I'd never heard of it. So I bought a few items out of there, and I've still yet here, in the US and Georgia, I've still ever bought anything from there, like here, or gone to the store. But that's how I came to learn of Zara. Berlana says, yes, Sheik, the wealth distribution is terrible. It's the old French colonies, Cameroon, Ghana, etc. They live in France, but they don't have the same opportunities. Yes, thank you for that, Berlana. I noticed it was almost like they were limited to kind of how they can move within the country. And like at the hotel that we stayed at, the Black people I seen, like they weren't, they were like, say, brown, like my color. They weren't the super dark, like, the ones that I was just describing. And when you go to the stores, you didn't see anyone looking like them in like the retail stores or anything. Like it was like they like legit was limited to like a certain radius, like as though they were told, like, listen, don't get caught out of this circle. Don't let me find out you left from around this Eiffel Tower. Like, to me, that's kind of what it gave. It was a whole bunch of them, you all. It was like a lot. And I'm like, okay, how did they all get over here? What type of what's the deal? Because, and it wasn't women, it was all men. Rolanda said they are treated differently. Rolanda says, think of it like the border between the U.S. and Latin America. Okay. Rolanda says it's the same thing with the border between Europe and Africa. Bless Up says, I'm a pecan tone. However, I love seeing darker tone brothers and sisters. They're gorgeous to me. Yes. But and what you just said, Bless Up, that's not a thought, a sentiment, a feeling that many Black Americans have. And even let's just say when it comes to Africa, again, like bleaching just in many countries is just a big thing I've come to learn. So even in Africa, it's not, I just feel like when it comes to that dark skin, to me, it seems like white people appreciate it more than anybody, even the Black people. Like, I don't know. And I think it's just the contrast, the stark contrast to their skin. They just like the melanin, because who would rather just be pale white versus having some type of pigment, which is why they tan and things like that. So they like that, we got tone. And of course, the darker you are, the more melanin you have in your skin. And then the more melanin you have in your skin, that melanin is like a natural, what's the word? Like a sunscreen. So us melanated people, that's like a natural sunscreen. And then melanin is like an anti-aging. So like we age very, much slower because, we have the melanin. So the more melanin you have in your skin, just like say a light skinned Black person versus a brown skin or dark skinned Black person, you may see, a difference with how they age because, the more melanin you have, like the better. You have some light skinned people that's age well. My husband is very fair skinned and he looks super young, beautiful, like skin. He's aging very well. But in general, what I've seen in life is that brown skin, like darker complexion people tend to just seem to age better. And from what I've learned, it's it's the science, it's melanin, it's science. Rolena says, Lord, Cuba doesn't even have electricity. So corrupt. The people are amazing. The government has done them wrong. Yes, I was not ready for the experience with Cuba. I didn't do my research. It was kind of like a last minute trip I jumped on with my sister. So it was no research going in. I'm like, oh yeah, bet. Because of course, when you see a lot of times when you see these countries and you see them in the movies, they show only a certain part of the country. So it's not like how it really is. And it can be like that even in the States when you go to different locations. So that sometimes it's good to kind of go see for yourself. And so Cuba, the times I've seen Cuba and, in the movies, Havana, like you see hotels, people on the beach, people sitting under the cabana, like music, child. Listen, I just knew that's what I was finna experience. Man, when I say that place looked like a third world country, I was not ready. I promise you, I was not ready. I was not ready. I was like, okay, well, where the rich folks stay? Because I wasn't even seeing nothing about that place that gave, oh, this is where the rich and famous stay. Because I went there on a cruise. So I was on a ship. I ain't eating nothing off that ship. Listen, I did my little that is definitely a place I do not have to ever go back to again. I was not ready. When I say I was not ready, but I am happy to say that I did get a chance to see it because so many people have not seen it as far as Americans and will not see it because right now, like we're not allowed to go over there. And right when I traveled over there, it was just opened up for a split second for us to be able to start back going over there. That experience, child, probably lasted all of maybe 6 months. And I don't know if Barack Obama was president. I think he was president then, and he shut it back down. Don't know what had happened. That had it to kind of close back. Y'all remember when Jay-Z and Beyonce had got in trouble because I think they was on their little yacht, they boat, and they had kind of crossed over into that territory, and you're not supposed to go over there. So, right, during that pocket of time when I visited, it was like in the fall of 2019, there was people who I would talk to would say they were kind of planning to go trips there. So I didn't know of anybody who actually made it over there. Everyone that I would talk to, they kind of was planning to go there after I went. And they ended up, the government shut it down. So they couldn't go over there. So it is nice that I can say, okay, I did go, but child, like, listen, child, I wasn't ready. It's definitely no place I ever have to go back again, but I saw it. I was able to experience it. So that was a blessing, but I'm glad it was through a cruise experience versus me thinking I'm going to go over there and stay in some nice little hotel, some all-inclusive. Child, I didn't see none of that. Like I said, where the rich people stay, because I did not see nothing there that gave, this is where the rich and famous be. I didn't see it, y'all. I didn't see it. I did not see it. Let me see. Get into these comments. Rolana says, preach. I wasn't ready for the US. I thought everything was going to be like Hollywood. Listen, you got to go see stuff for yourself. And even like within California, I'm from California, and Hollywood, where I'm from in Bay Area, ain't like Hollywood. So when I moved to the South in Georgia as a teenager in high school, I was 10th grade, the kids would surround me and ask me questions, and their questions was centered around things that they'd seen on TV. So I don't know when y'all was born. I'm an 80s baby. I was born in the 80s, so I grew up during the era of 90210. That was my show, 90210. What was the other show that came on after that? It was another little show that came on that was a spinoff. Bodea Drive or something like that. Those was my shows. So I moved in Georgia in 96, and the kids, like, the questions they had was things centered around what they saw on the show 90210, like all their questions. And I'm like, okay, one of you all, I'm from Northern California. I didn't grow up around the beach. So they were like, what? Because there wasn't anything, I guess, they saw on TV that was centered around Northern California and the Bay Area. So they didn't know what I was talking about, y'all. They sitting around me like I was an alien and I just got dropped on planet Earth. That's how them kids made me feel. They was real nice though, but they just made me feel very different just because, I was from someplace else. I was from West, so I spoke differently. And the questions they had was things specifically from the show 90210. So it was funny. It's just like, no. Miss Yellow Red says, that's true. Chocolate skin is beautiful and don't have flaws. If I get a pimple, you will see it because my complexion. So yes, chocolate skin is so beautiful. Yes. Ariane says, Sheik, thanks again. Another great live. Sheik for president. Thank you, Ariane. Thank you. Berlin said, I was born in 82. I thought the US was 90210. Oh my God, these kids, they just knew. Listen, child, they clutched their invisible pearls when I hit them with, no, y'all know how to swim. They like, what? You're from California with the beaches. What do you mean? Child, I didn't grow up around no beach. I come from the Bay Area. I'm from the Bay. I didn't grow up around no beach, so no, I don't damn know how to swim. Hell. But they thought my life was just like, going to the beach, been on a surfboard. And I'm like, child, no, I ain't go. Like, there was one beach in the Bay Area that I knew of that I went to on a field trip in San Francisco called Stinson Beach. Child, that was the only beach I went to. And I probably went in like the 4th grade, probably. I was in elementary school. And it was a long ride going around the mountain. And I just remember, yes. So I'm like, nah, I'm from the Bay Area. We ain't got beaches. It's the Bay. You ain't going swimming in the Bay. No, your girl don't know how to damn swim with the fit. No, I don't know how to damn swim. Don't be judging me. And yes, I'm from California. So yeah, they was shooketh. They was like, what? So yes, they just, I don't know, they was just intrigued by me, starting from how I spoke, because they just thought that, I spoke so proper. They just felt like, now I didn't speak like how I speak now. Now I might have a little Southern twang, but this is, think about what, 2096, however many years ago that was. So I spoke very proper. So I guess I probably sounded like the people on the TV as far as just how very proper, I spoke. But still, even in California, the dialect, people in Southern California. So Hollywood would be like Southern, that's Southern California. The Bay Area is Northern California. Even between those two parts of the California, the dialect is different. Some of you all may know, like it's like it's different. So I didn't even know that until when I came to Georgia and I met other teenagers, in school that because I ended up meeting, other kids that was also from the West Coast eventually. Not at that school, because that school was the black school. But when I ended up moving to a more diverse community where it's like more white people, that area was just like predominantly black. When I moved to a community that was like more white people, it was more black kids there who came from California, and they were from like San Diego, Southern California, and they spoke differently than I did and my sisters. So that's how I came to learn that even within California, the dialect is different, like based off of how they spoke versus how I speak. Like how they spoke was more so to me in line with how they spoke on 90210 versus how I spoke. So I didn't know that until I went to a whole different environment. California is so huge. It literally can be like at least two states in one. Los Angeles was like 8 hour, like an 8 hour drive from the Bay Area. I think San Diego might be a good 6. I've never been to San Diego actually, but I'm from right around Napa Valley, San Francisco, Oakland, Berkeley. That's the area. I'm from a small town called Pittsburgh, California. So you have Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and you have Pittsburgh, California. My Pittsburgh doesn't have an H on the end. So if you look that up, there's a Pittsburgh, California, and it's right outside the other side of Napa Valley. Never visited the winery of Napa either. I just a kid, drove past it. So I left at 15. So still, when I go back to visit, I'm like a tourist. I act like a tourist because I left at such a young age. So it's good to just experience just going to different places, different environments, so you can take in the culture, form your own opinions, just see what life is like, just away from just your circle, your neck of the woods. It just allows you to be able to be more open-minded about things, about people. Um, yeah, and it allows for you to just when you get in conversations with people to just be able to really go deeper into just the topic just from your own experiences because we are our life experiences. So, mostly, when I come out here on any of my platforms and regardless of which YouTube channel it is, I just speak from my life experience. And then I also speak from, my educational background, but heavy on the life experience. Heavy on the life experience. We all have a testimony. We have an experience, and it's your experience. So you talk about it. That's all you have at the end of the day to fall back on. That's all we can fall back on. Karen says, I have a good friend from Cuba, and her family there thinks we are all rich over here. I bet the hell they do, Karen, because them folks, y'all, even the damn dogs on government assistance. That was the thing that took me out the most when they told me that the y'all know how you have wild like animals. So they got these wild animals. And back then I was like still afraid of dogs. I got a big old dog now. So my big old dog, then it got me fearful of no dog because ain't no dog bigger than my dog now. So that fear is long gone. But back then I didn't have a dog. So I'm there and they got these wild animals just roaming. Child, these dogs look just as skinny and hungry. And, the tour guide told us that the government, because listen, the government regulating everything. They said the government, listen, the dogs even on Section 8 and getting EBT. They said the government at certain times during the day will feed the animals. So like at certain times through the day, the government will sit out food, whatever, to feed the animals. I said, hell no. But mind you, they doing all that. But when you go in the public bathroom, it ain't no toilet paper in there. So it's somebody sitting outside the door they hustle with selling you some toilet paper. You ain't knowing that you got to play a part in their hustle until you go in there and you don't see no toilet paper. You like, damn, that's why she was posted up out there with the toilet paper because it ain't no toilet paper in there. So you ain't got no other choice but to go to feed into and support the hustle because they don't have toilet paper. Listen, but y'all feeding the damn dogs. You're feeding the dogs, but you can't provide toilet paper. So that was my experience in Cuba, y'all. I wasn't ready. I was in my Kevin Hart voice. I wasn't ready. I was not damn ready. Pink Angel says, I have family in Pittsburgh, California. It's beautiful. The wineries are so nice. Really, really. It's not that often I come across somebody who know about Pittsburgh. So that's nice. Yep, right near Antioch. So yeah, that's where I'm from. Miss Yellow says, I love Cali. I am from Ontario, California. That sounds like that's probably in Southern California. Is that over there near San Diego? I don't recognize that town. So that's why I'm wondering. Some of the towns that I don't recognize, especially those more Spanish sounding towns, they be over near San Diego in Southern California. Brolena says that Karen Jones, a Cubans who were able to flee the dictatorships and leave definitely have more money. Rolanda says, just like the Nature Boy story, the government promised equality, took all the money. Yellow. Okay. Yeah, I heard of San Bernardino. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, San Bernardino. I think that is over in the like the Bay Area, but I ain't never been there. My husband, he left as an adult, so he know where all the areas is. I'm sure I can yell. He'll tell me exactly where that is. But I heard of San Bernardino. I just never went because I left, so I was so young when I left. So I'm a tourist whenever I go back. So yes, Cuba, like, yeah, like I said, that's just not a place I necessarily have to double back. Even Paris, only reason why I would double back with Paris just because of the shopping district. And it has beautiful scenery to like really get good pictures and stuff in. So it is beautiful. So just from that, and I'd like to go back with my husband so he can kind of take it in because we love to, y'all know I like to be outside and walking and stuff. So just, to experience that. But I'm a picky eater, so I really struggled with the food. So that's why I'm like, I'm not in a rush with going back because I struggled with finding foods to eat that I liked because everything's in French. Listen, child, listen, y'all ain't got no damn hot dogs. Can I have a pizza slice and a hot dog? Like, I'm real basic, y'all. And that is not basic. It ain't no basic country. It ain't basic in Paris. Ain't nothing basic about Paris. So, yeah, so that was my struggle, me and my sisters, with the food, because we're all like picky eaters. Maybe that's why we so damn little, but we just, we're just kind of picky eaters. So definitely, y'all, get your travels in, check out, wherever you can. Get a cruise in. It's a great, probably the most reasonably priced way to see the world. And just I was able to see Honduras, Cozumel, and what else? Costa Maya. So 3 different places, for 1 week trip. So just I definitely recommend you get it in. Berlana says, yes, I didn't like the food in Paris either. Yeah, so it was that I like the what was that French dessert, the beignets. I introduced my sisters to the beignets. I had tried those for the first time in New Orleans when I went to Beyonce concert or girls road trip with some friends, and they introduced me to the beignets. So but in Paris they like beignets with Nutella, so that was their thing. So but I guess that'll be a long trip away from home to go there for some beignets. But the beignets were good. But I was stopped up by the time I left here. You can't live off of beignets. You can't live off of beignets. Y'all, my body had never yearned for no salad, no greens in my life. Oh my goodness. But I have my memories, so I could say that I visited. So get it in, get it in. Thank y'all for rocking with me tonight, this Thanksgiving Eve. I want everyone to have a wonderful, safe holiday. I probably will be back on here probably Friday. Tomorrow's the holiday, so I'll be busy just bonding with the family. My son, he's home from college. My kid, I have a 19-year-old son, second year in college. So he came home yesterday. So he's here to love on him. So I got the complete family here. I got all 3 of my babies and my husband here. So tomorrow will be a family day. So I'm sure my husband wouldn't want me to go live tomorrow. So I'll probably be back tapping in with y'all maybe Friday. We'll see how I go. We will see how I go. But nonetheless, y'all make sure y'all got the notification bell here because y'all just don't know. I might pop up on y'all either on this channel or my other channel. I need to show my other channel some love, y'all, because I've been playing around over here on the second channel with y'all this week because I'm trying to, get my subscribers, get everything up. I'm trying to build it up like the other channel, y'all. Road to 1,000. Do y'all remember my other channel when it was Road to 1,000? Now we got like over 2,000 people, so listen, it's growing. So now this is my channel, Road to 1,000 again. So you all make sure you definitely like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you got that notification bell hit so you know when I go live on either channel. My other channel is just Chic Speaks, like the name on my screen. Type that in. That will get you to my other channel. So make sure you follow me over there. This is my second channel, my reaction channel. My other channel is just like health-related content, physical fitness, mental health, all of that. This channel is reaction channel. Me to react on all the shenanigans going on in this world. And tonight we got into all things Nature Boy and Rose Miller of Queen of Kings. It was a great live. It really was. I didn't think it'd be as long as yesterday's lives, but hey, it is what it is. When y'all vibe with me, listen, I always say when y'all show up, I'm gonna show up. So honor students, y'all came through for me. I thank you. I thank you. I like to end my lives by saying, go out into the world and show up in a way in which you want others to show up for you. Remember, like attracts like. Y'all give off a good energy. Love on people, love on one another. You are what you think. Remember, y'all, we ain't trying to be out here getting hustled like Nature Boy was doing these people out here. We not trying to get hustled, y'all. So stand 10 toes down, know who you are. Don't let somebody finesse you and have you doing some ish that, listen, that you know better than to do. So take care of yourself and one another, but heavy on take care of yourself. Heavy on take care of yourself. We are out here taking care of everybody, but neglecting ourselves. And guess what? It shows. It shows. It shows in our mental, how we making decisions and how we are physically showing up in the world. So if you are interested in changing how you are physically showing up in the world, follow me on my larger channel, my other channel, Chic Speaks. I do live AM workouts. It's the holiday week, so I hadn't done one in the last couple of days. So I'll be back on it consistently starting next week with my morning AM workouts. They're awesome. They're awesome. So check me out over there. Brolena, thank you, thank you, thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to you all. To you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Southern Belle. Thank you. Thank you. It was an awesome chat. And you all have a wonderful, wonderful evening. And I will catch you all on the next broadcast. Let me see. Bless up, said Ariane. Please excuse me, huh? Trying to do two things at once. I honestly stopped celebrating those pagan holidays 2 years ago. However, a girl got to eat. So I cook all the time. Yeah, I'm with you, Blessed Up. It's like I mainly kind of, when it comes to the holidays, it's more so about the meal. I got to eat anyway, not really all the other stuff. Christmas the same way. So I'm pretty much kind of, that too. But a lot of people say the Thanksgiving. So I just, go along with it. But for the most part, it's just, child, listen, we got to eat. We got to eat. Rolanda says, I know it's a day of mourning for the Native Americans. So yeah, it is what it is. It's just a day. Everybody just, just be with your family, love on one another. That's what we do. You love on one another. Take care of yourselves and take care of one another. But yes, I will let you all have the rest of your evening. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a good rest of your evening. I'm Chic, and I will catch you on the next broadcast. Peace.